Everybody to the December 8th Township Board of Trustees business meeting. Let's start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Okay, we have some additions, deletions. Let's start with number one here. Let's just go through order here, and I have an ad, which would be a presentation. So let's go. So number one, first one would be delete action item number 14, the entrance audit contract award. Need a second?
Second.
Okay. Apparently the references are not in yet, or not back. We asked for some references during the interview, but we have not gotten them yet. Mark has asked this to be deleted. Anybody have any input in this? All right, with none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so that's number 14 will be, let me get this on here. Number 14 is deleted. Very good. Okay. We want to add consent agenda number 5, Wayne County 25-26 winter maintenance services. I just got that in the mail actually today. So I need a second for that.
Second.
All right. So what this is our winter maintenance, and it is predicated upon last year's amounts, correct? And that's how they get the fee. And it is on there if anybody needs to see it. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, motion carried. So we will add that to number 5 on the consent agenda. Does anyone else? Oh, hold on here. No, let's go one more before mine. We're going to delete action item number 3. Purchase a new truck mounted generator for engine 1. I'm assuming that's fire department, Mickey. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right.
Item
We're just
number
not
4,
ready
Joe.
for it?
We're going to talk about it in our fire
Okay.
commission meeting.
So
next
need
week.
more conversation, more dialogue. Okay, very good.
Joe, item 4 is also, I move we delete that from the agenda.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this done first. Number 3, delete action item number 3. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Yeah.
Motion carried. Oh,
No, I misspoke. It was aye.
oh, that was an aye. Okay, I got you. I just want to make sure we get it right. Okay, that's deleted.
Number 3 is deleted, you said?
Number 3 is deleted. Purchase, of the action item. Make sure that's deleted now. We've got another one. Bill, you said you have something.
Yes, I would move to remove from the agenda the removal of the Communications Commission for discussion under another venue.
Okay, so that's number 4 you want removed. Is there a second for that?
Second.
Okay, we got a second. Any discussion for removing it? Is there a reason? Bill, can you just say,
Yes,
just state why you want
just
it
to
removed?
limit, I would feel better if we were to talk this thing through a little bit and do that in a study session. I think there's enough information that
Okay,
I'm not against it or for it at this moment. I'm saying that in order to make a good informed decision, I'd like to take the time elsewhere.
gotcha. I understand. All right, so want to remove number 4, Communications Commission. Actually, it's also removal of the Communications Commission. So all in favor, say aye to remove it.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Okay,
Wait, I'm not sure how. I
Yeah,
voted
let's
on
clarify that.
okay, hold on.
So,
Hold on.
Yeah.
you're removing it from the agenda.
Correct.
Yeah, what he
Right.
wants to do
Exactly.
is remove number 4, which is headed, or the heading is removal of Communications Commission. So he wants to remove, to us to vote on the removal of it.
that. So I put it on there, right?
Correct.
And now they're saying they don't want me to have it on there?
No, he's saying he would like to talk about this more because he's not sure which way he would go. He wants more information on it, and I don't really have a problem with that unless it's voted down, obviously. So Do you
How,
understand?
how many
Just
times
get
can
it
we keep
forward.
doing this, though? I mean,
Been
are we
going on
gonna
a long
keep
time.
having it removed from the agenda, or what are we doing?
Well, here's what I'm gonna do then. We'll see. We'll vote on this, see if it's to be removed, and then we'll figure out if we want to talk about it in a discussion item, if we want to have a, half-hour study session before a meeting, and then we will make a decision, I guess, from there. Is
So-
that, Bill, that's what you requested?
Right, I'd like
To
to
me.
have another venue when this is discussed.
We had a discussion item at the prior meeting, so that's why I just am confused by continually moving the ball.
Yeah, and it just seems like now we can go back and anybody that puts something forward, instead of getting a vote on it, we just vote to move it or to take it off the agenda.
And we can. With 4 votes.
Well, what
you
he's
can
doing
take
is
anything off
proper under
agenda.
the guidelines. I'm just saying, it's just what, if somebody needs more time, Mark needs more time on the other one, Bill needs more time. I don't have a problem giving him more time, but
one of those that's been
it
going
may
on
not
for a
change
long
what we
time.
feel, but it just gives him more time to understand and
So
go.
if I could make a point. So I guess the first thing would be, I would rather call this repeal of the Communication Commission ordinance than call it removal of the Communication Commission. Because there isn't a Communication Commission to remove.
Right,
The verbiage
right.
of this makes it sound like we're firing 7 members of a commission.
No, there is no, correct.
Right?
There is
So
no
it would
commission.
be, I think it would just be better to be more specific in how we word it. And then my other thought is, if Bill wants to table it and discuss it more at length, there's no rush, right? It's not hurting anything. It's not great to have a ordinance we're not presently adhering to. But we've been doing it for
9.
9 months.
Yeah,
what's
9
10,
months or so.
I guess.
So just to clarify about the adhering to, you can't make people participate on a commission, and you also don't want to have a commission that isn't going to basically do exactly what you think it should do. So that's where I'm getting a little stuck with terminology and how we're using it. So
Well, maybe it's worth a half hour then of our time just to talk about it before a meeting. Margaret, I don't know. I know you probably don't feel that.
I think it's coming more from an outside group too, Joe. That
Well, it
Yeah.
may be, but it certainly is. But the point is that if Bill requests it, the outside group didn't request it, Bill did. And if Bill requests it, then I
But I requested it be put on,
Well,
right?
you guys want to arm wrestle and then let me know.
Come on, Bill.
The point is, I think for a half hour, we have a lot of things, like Jameson said. We don't have a communications commission right now. So what we're asking for is, we're happy with how our communications department is working. There's money issues, there's budget issues, we've got some big issues coming up, so maybe it's a good thing.
That's all related to what I'm talking about, Joe, thank you.
Okay. What he said, okay.
Well, we
It's
can
what he
just put it
said.
on every single meeting. Just leave
No,
it
no,
on there.
Just,
leave
no, what
it
we'll
on every
do
single
is,
one.
we'll get a half hour, I'll give you guys a half hour to talk about it. I have a few comments, and then we'll vote on it next meeting, and I'll ask, and we're not gonna take it off.
Well,
We
so
will with 4 votes.
We'll vote on it.
We will with 4 votes. You can remove anything from the agenda with 4 votes.
Correct. Correct.
when are we going to talk about it? Is that today or a
No,
special
not
meeting?
today. We're not talking about it today.
I'm not being smart. I just
No,
wanna
you're not.
know. You said
No, I get it. No, I am just answering your question. We'll have Bill would ask for a half hour that we talk about it before a meeting, like at a study session.
I think a special meeting, this is such a contentious issue, I think a special meeting would actually be better
really
than a
shouldn't be
study.
contentious though, should it? But to Mickey's point, you've got certain people who want to persuade those on the board to do what they're asking to be done. And the fact of the matter is, we're not coming up with a logical reason to continue down this path, other than that particular reason. And at some point, maybe we should just put all the cards on the table, period.
I don't like meetings behind closed doors
Well,
with township officials.
Hold on, you guys. Let me just say something. Hold on. If Bill asks for it, I'm going to respect what Bill says, and then we can talk about it. Now, we can let it all out, and I've got some thoughts on this, obviously. So let's do this. Let's vote on it right now to remove this. Let's do this first, and then I will put it on I'll get with Derek or Brian and we'll get a meeting coming up and I'll give you a half hour. How about that? I'll give you a half hour. We can talk about it. That's all it's going to take. Or 45 minutes, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll vote on it at the next meeting. If we should pursue getting a commission, forget about the ordinance. I don't want it, because next year or the year after, Jameson, we could have one, possibly. So why, I don't want to take away the ordinance, so.
I didn't want to take away the ordinance either.
Right.
But what continually occurred was myself and the manager of the department continued to be attacked for no good reason. Just because somebody doesn't like him, they don't like the fact that we don't just create a group of people and throw them onto a commission willy-nilly to do who knows what exactly. And that's my issue. I have zero problem. We could have kept this open, waited for the right people to come along, but continually being attacked on this when I am working really hard, so is Brian, and we have a lot of people in the community, actually real people, that actually want to have communication given to them, and that's what we've been doing.
Well, there's a lot of things I think that can come out in this. You know my feelings on this too. I'm very happy with what I see so far, but that's not relevant. There's 7 of us. So let's vote on this first to take it off. If we vote yes, it'll come off. If not, then we'll vote on it. Okay? That's
Okay.
what we got to do. So to remove the action item tonight, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
No.
Okay, so I got two nay. Brian, is that what you got? Okay. So we will move forward with this, and I'm sure that it's going to be, I will get a half hour, 45 minutes, and I'm sure we will have some fireworks. So we won't have to wait till Island Fest.
But we can't wait till 4th of July. Is what
No, I won't do that to you, Bill. All right, are we good at that? Thank you. Okay, I've got one more here. Let me make sure we're all done with, are there any, how about this first off, are there any add-ons before I get to mine? Is there any other add-ons or deletions somebody wants to bring up? Everybody good? Okay.
Are you hoping for one?
No, I just don't want to miss one.
I didn't know if you wanted me to like come up with
Oh,
one.
no, I just,
We only have 14 action items.
I know, and I just, a gentleman would like to come up, it's only a 2-minute presentation, that's it, and hand us something, just listen if it's ticking or not. So, what we'll do, Tony, is I'm going to do an add-on right now for Tony Krukowski for the a presentation. Let me do that first, and then we'll approve everything. So, for a presentation, I want to add Tony Krukowski to come up and give his 2-minute spiel. I need a second.
Second?
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Okay, that presentation will go on. Now I just need a motion to approve the agenda as amended this time.
So move.
Okay?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed nay. Okay, motion carried. It has been amended. Now, Tony, why don't you come on up? You're first.
I hope not to take as much time.
You got 2 minutes.
All right, good evening. My name is Tony Krukowski. I live at 20082 East River Road, and I'm here on behalf of the Grosse Ile Historical Society. As you know, 2026 is going to be a big year in our community. We'll be celebrating our 250th anniversary. We're basically 2 days younger than the nation. And when you look back in 1976, there was a big celebration. Now, we know things are tight, so for 2026, we're hoping to do some kind of low-key things, but still recognize the wonderful history of Grosse Ile. And in kind of kicking that off, what we'd like to do is present to each one of the board members a copy of the calendar we put together for 2026. It has colorized pictures of old Grosse Ile scenes, and also over 250 entries of historical things that happened in the nation, the state, and the island. So I'll leave those here, And also, I've included some copies for the Community Recreation Commission, because my understanding is they're going to be playing a very important role in all of this, so.
There's
I'd
a
like-
couple in there that have agreed to help you out in this, if they still are on, or in, whichever way you want to look at it, for the celebration.
Okay, well, that's going to be a big help.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a couple of them that asked to volunteer if you could use them.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you very much.
All right.
Tony, what are your hours again? I've still not got over to get those sweaters off you. I talked to you and your wife ages ago, and I've got to get them for this
How about the
winter.
boutique, Bill?
Yeah,
Well, we're open for the next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the next 2 weeks, so please come by.
what
11.
hours?
11 a.m. to,
6 p.m.
All 3 days?
No, the hours are a little different on Friday. Let me defer to the brain in my family.
2 to 6 on Fridays, and Saturdays are 12. 11.
I know 11. I thought it was, I don't mean to, I thought it was
That's not
11
a-
to 6 on the
11 to
weekends.
6 on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys.
Thank you.
Mike,
You
I'm
guys took
gonna,
me last weekend well.
first thing coming up is Friday.
All right.
Appreciate that.
All right, thank you. You set, Tony?
A lot of great
That's
Christmas
it.
gifts there, too.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, there was a lot of things there. Believe me, it was well worth going there. Okay, thanks, Tony, for that. And I guess we'll just grab one of these on the way out, and then we'll save the rest for the rec department. Okay, presentations, nothing else. Public comment. Who in the?
Kathy's got her hand up.
Yep, Kathy's got one. Come on up, Miss Kathy. Come on up.
You got two written.
First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Kathy Walker, 26051 Thorpe Court.
That's the best sweater tonight, by the way.
It is, and
Thank you.
best necklace and ring.
Very nice.
My husband was good. Anyways, the reason I'm up here is I want to thank Bill for having an open mind and being questioning what's going on and what is available and what can be done with the Communication Commission. Because currently, there is not one. Currently, what is being produced is a fraction of what used to be done for the public. And I'd like you people to really think about it, and I'd like to have discussions. I'd like to meet with you, Joe, privately and talk to you and tell you my opinion. And then you can take it to your private meeting and do what you want.
We're going to have a private meeting, but go ahead.
Well,
Yeah.
the pre-meeting. But the thing is, there's a lot that is not discussed. This was communication franchise fees, which is basically the only reason everybody's really interested in the Communication Commission is the money, which is coming from the seniors. The seniors are the only ones, basically, the majority of the fees are coming from the seniors. And then the kickback, which is the franchise fees, is not going to them to the extent it should, in my opinion. That's who's paying for it. Most of the younger people, under 50, most of them don't have cable. I mean, I pay a lot for cable because I like to have the access to see what's going on, and it's easy for them. They can't do podcasts. And podcasts are just nothing more than what we used to do when they'd have a supervisor, like for Kobolak. They'd have a little meeting, and we'd give him 20 minutes of airtime and he'd tell people what's going on in the community. But I'd like to expand, because I don't think you really have a full value of what used to be done, because right now it's just a fraction of nothing. So I thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Anybody else? Bob, anything? We good? You guys good? You sure?
Brian said he had a couple, right?
There's
Wait,
two here from
we
Brian.
still have to read, yeah, we still got to read two of them. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening. Bear with me. The first one is pretty long. All right. Jenna Moxlow, and I actually don't see an address on here, but I can get that. To the township employees and members of the board, thank you for taking the time to listen to my comments during last night's public comment section. This is from after last meeting in November. I truly appreciate those who were actively listening and considering the words I shared. That said, I fear that some points may have fallen on deaf ears, or perhaps I didn't drive them home strongly enough. As someone with a background in business, marketing, and communications, I'd like to expand on a few of those points. Simply put, Grosse Ile Township does not need a press department or a social media and digital department to rival the White House. We are an island of roughly 10,700 residents, about 20% of whom aren't even old enough to vote or engage in politics. Effectively communicating with and for this number of residents does not require any army of commissioners engaging in political discourse or for the sake of to satisfy a policy and procedure. Life requires nuance and critical thinking, both of which suggest that creating a commission simply because a policy exists, rather than because there's an actual need, warrants revisiting the policy, that not creating an unnecessary commission. Now, for the sake of argument, let's play out with what creating a truly taxpayer-run communications commission would look like. From the perspective of someone who has served as a liaison between sales and marketing teams, executives and employees to build effective, results-driven strategies. Step 1, create a mission and objective for the commission. I reviewed the township code regarding the commission. While the objectives listed are valid, none require the sustained attention, expertise, or input of 5 members on a monthly or even quarterly basis. Work would have to be invented simply to give these commissioners something to do. Budgets are reviewed once annually and are largely fixed. There's a matter of order, not need. Cell tower contracts are rarely revisited. I could dissect each point, but the takeaway is simple. This work does not require 5 extra hands. As I mentioned in my previous email, this kind of bloat only slows down communication and makes things worse, not better. That's not opinion, that's data. Ineffective communication caused by oversized communication teams costs U.S. businesses $1.2 trillion annually. Please don't claim to be benefiting taxpayers by doing this. Their time is money. Step 2, find willing, capable, and qualified candidates. As Mr. Yeager pointed out, there are many middle-aged and retired residents who have the time and interest to serve. However, finding individuals who both have the necessary skills and are willing to commit the time required to make this commission effective will be nearly impossible. Most residents aged 20 to 40 simply don't have the bandwidth, and frankly, they wouldn't see enough value in the role to justify the effort. The public was asked to apply, and only 3 people did. Even assuming all 3 were stellar candidates, that's still not enough for a full commission. I generally wish you luck in finding 5 strong, qualified members, but again, please don't claim to be benefiting taxpayers by doing this. Their time is money. Step 3, put the commission into action. How often would this commission meet? What would they discuss? Will they simply vote to approve or reject Brian's scheduled posts? Will they spend more board time begging for content, something Brian and Margaret already do, and then report that there's nothing new? Will they solicit taxpayer content ideas, something else Brian and Margaret already handle? What exactly changes by adding 4 more members other than creating red tape and delaying communication? My guess, not much. Aside from township employees offloading work that's already part of their job descriptions, write this announcement for me so I don't have to. Again, don't claim this benefits taxpayers. Their time is money. Government waste is a problem at every level, federal, state, and local, from printing 200-page agenda packets instead of using modern technology to now considering a commission that would waste taxpayer time and resources. It's time this board takes a hard look at tightening the very ship it claims to be saving. You are all capable and of better than the tit-for-tat nonsense that wastes everyone's time. Yours, the citizens, and those who actually want to create meaningful change. I sincerely hope last night's discussion marked the end of the Communications Commission proposal, at least for a while, but if you choose to press forward, I've already outlined how it will likely end, with no true direction, just a list of irrelevant bullet points, no genuine necessity, a lack of qualified and engaged candidates, and a high turnover rate fueled by frustration and wasted effort.
Hey.
I got one more. Sorry, that was really
No,
long.
that's all right.
Second one, Natalie Agui. Sorry if I messed up your name.
Spell the last name just so.
Agius.
Okay.
Knudsen. I would like to say that I've lived on the island for 18 years and I've not had better communication with the township. I am so pleased with this new newsletter. It was interesting information plus all the rec info for my grandkids too. My daughter uses it to see what events are on in times. Don't see a need for a committee when we finally get what we need now. I use the Facebook also, and the township has everything I need there to keep up the good work. That's all I got.
All right, so
Agenda 25-085, which includes.
second it.
Second. We need a second?
I got
Yes,
it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
Minutes of the November 10th, 2025 regular meeting. Check register dated through December 5th, 2025. Approval to proceed, process and distribute payments through January 2nd, 2026. Wayne County Annual Maintenance Permit Package Approval, and the winter, Wayne County 2024-25 Winter Maintenance Service Agreement.
Okay.
And that is everything in the consent agenda.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Is there any discussion or anything on the consent agenda 25-085? Okay, with none. All in favor, 25-085, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it's passed. All right, we'll go to action items. Number one, Margaret,
Yep.
appointment of
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Vasquez.
So I'd like to recommend the Township Board's approval for the promotion of Sergeant Eric Vasquez to Police Lieutenant effective January 23, 2026. We had 3 individuals who interviewed with us. The commission voted and recommends the promotion of Sergeant Eric Vasquez to the rank of Lieutenant effective January 23. And I need a second.
Second. Is that it on the history?
That's it.
Okay. Anybody have any, I have a comment, but I'm gonna let the rest go first if they would like. None? Okay.
Well,
No, go ahead. No,
so we just, the commission, and we talked about it at the commission, but we just, congratulations to Eric. He did a great job in the interview. But not only that, Eric just went through staff and command. I know I commented on that previously, but he has shown that he went through that. He had a top level project that he had worked on, and we're very pleased to add Eric into the command staff ranks.
you set?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to say, Eric worked for me. Anything that was asked of Eric, he did it. He did it well. Doug agreed. I know that. Same thing. Eric's very good at what he does. He's always gets things done on time. It's a big thing when you have all the parts of the package together. And I definitely believe that he should be in management. So I just definitely feel, I'm glad that it's occurred this way, and it's time for him. So anybody have anything else to say?
I suppose I could add to that. Bill, you can go first if you want.
I'll be very brief because I'll get too emotional. He's a good guy. I'll just leave it at that.
So recently at work, we promoted someone, and I spoke at it. And this is one of those guys that just is behind the scenes doing hard work, and kind of talked about that a little bit. And I've never heard anything about Officer Vasquez. So, and I'm not saying I think that's actually a good thing, right? Like, it's never come up that, he's involved in a scuffle or trouble or issues or drama or anything, right? Just as far as I'm concerned, he's a hardworking officer who gets the job done. So thanks for your hard work, and it seems like this is a well-deserved promotion.
All right. Anyone else on the board? Okay, promotion to police lieutenant, Officer Vasquez. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Congrats.
Congratulations, you are the next lieutenant, sir.
You got that list ready for him, Chief? You got that list ready for him? All the things you need him to get done before he goes home tonight? Sure. Okay.
Who did you bring with you? Who did? I brought my wife, Renee. Your wife, Renee? Hi, Renee.
All right, congratulations,
Thanks, Eric.
You know what, I'm sorry, I did not, the date, what was the date he starts?
January 23.
23, and Doug, you leave the 22nd.
Second.
Good. Well, not good. Not good you're leaving.
Well, that's debatable, but.
No, I meant good. So you start the.
All three of them start on 25th.
That's what I meant. So we have Todd, we have Kevin, and we have Eric all starting on the same day, don't we?
Yes.
That's what I meant. Good.
Yes.
Throw a party for
Okay. I'm
that.
going to go to your retirement. Don't you worry. I'll even bring your present.
No, we're not giving him one. What are you talking
All
about?
right. Did you guys? Yeah. Do you want to take any pictures or like? Sometimes they come in front of this. Or do you need anything?
They usually,
good?
yeah.
They're gonna be sworn in on the 23rd, and that's it.
We'll do it. That's fine. I'm just asking. Some like the
Renee, push him up here, man.
Nah, that's all right. No, he's bashful. Let him go. All right.
Doug, do you want your
Margaret,
picture?
number 2. Number 2?
Number 2 is I'd like to recommend the Township Board's approval for purchase of 30 Cisco Duo tokens per year for 5 years in the amount of $4,454.40.
Second. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm not going to go through this based on time, but these Cisco tokens, they are something that pretty much all departments use. They're the preferred vendor. I will say that by paying this 5 years up front, the department will receive a slight reduction of 15% in cost, totaling the $4,454.40, which is something I might point out that our Chief Carmack regularly makes sure that we are looking for the best costs and the optional or optimal pricing for the budget.
All right. Any questions? Any comments?
Would you please explain to the community what a token is?
So these tokens basically allow them to log into their laptops without, they're basically making sure that everything is secure and the right person is logging in and nobody else can get into their, it's like a VPN almost, right?
Two-part authentication.
Yes.
To verify that people have the code or not being hacked into the system. It's a requirement for the state of Michigan.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask that. It is a requirement. I know that. So
So
to have it.
we use two-part authentication at work, and which is like a physical card plus a code. Is this like a USB pip or is it a CAC card?
Remember the old RSA tokens?
Mm.
Similar to that, and you still have your logon and your password. So it's 2 parts. And it's actually 3, because when you want to log into one of our application, you gotta log into that one too.
So does it give you a randomized authenticator code? Okay, all right,
Switches it.
all right.
All right. Very good.
I've got a question.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
I was looking through that. I had to go to the website for these people to find out what you just said, and I think it's a good idea to have it. We also have some conversation afoot for authorizing people like ourselves to perhaps have access to certain parts of financial data if we're interested in what the township's financial position is or some trend we're concerned about. Would these tickets answer concerns about security? These duo coins or whatever they're called. Could we use
I don't
those?
know, Bill, if they can be attached to our software. It's a setup that the Downriver Police Departments have for authentication, but I don't know if it. I don't believe it is.
I mean, you could.
That
I had picked up some conversation secondhand from somewhere that this was a concern that the township had, and I could understand that. But it seemed to me as I was reading about this, I thought if it worked for the police,
I
it
don't
would work
believe
for
it's
us, too.
compatible for what we have.
Gotcha.
Bill.
Okay.
You could create a two-factor authentication on any Windows computer using a physical or encrypted, something like the Duo tokens. I don't know if I'm sure VCS would charge us,
Yes, a lot.
Yeah, we don't use tokens anymore where I work. Ours is embedded into our laptops. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing, the tokens work well and they work for what the officers need specifically.
All right, very good. So, action item number 2, Cisco Duo tokens. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carried. You're good, Doug. Okay, 3 is off. 4 is off. Kevin, you have 5, 6, and 7. 5 would be removal, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just
Wa-
go ahead.
Wastewater treatment plant macerator.
There we go.
Macerator. I'm sorry, I said that wrong, didn't I?
Removal of the whoop,
No,
not
no.
that one.
Next
Sorry,
one.
sorry.
Yeah,
wrong.
I did the same thing. Next one.
What's the,
Number 5, wastewater treatment plant macerator.
go.
Large garbage disposal, fine.
What's the page number, please?
62.
62 to
62 to
72.
72?
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Based wastewater treatment plant macerator, based upon a recommendation from the Gozil Township Department of Public Service Commission, the Gozil Township Board hereby approves an award of a contract to Solberg Knowles for the replacement of the EQ basin macerator at the cost of $74,221.43. The history, purpose, and explanation, this approval is for the replacement of the equalization
second.
basin.
Second.
Hold on, we got a second. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
We're good.
I'll
We're
do the
good.
second, Brian.
Thank you. Approval is for the replacement of the equalization basin channel monster at the Grozil wastewater treatment plant. They call it a monster. The channel monster is a grinder with sharp rotating blades that grind solid waste into a fine slurry, enabling it to be pumped. When we use the tank during high flows, the flow all goes through the channel monster. This is an original unit from 2005.
Can I just say I just love the fact that this thing's called a muffin monster?
A muffin monster. Yeah.
Incredible for what it does.
I mean, it's a thankless job for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions or concerns?
Yes.
There's actually a picture of what it looks like on page 70 of your packet. That's the watermark is.
And
Muffin monster, huh?
this is would you discuss why it's a single bid?
Because the piece of equipment that is currently installed is a single source provider, and to go with a different provider with a different product would mean reworking the whole system that is there. So it's basically, it's all designed, that whole infrastructure is designed for this exact model. And in addition, we're replacing a portion of it, not the entire application. So it would be far more costly to go with a different provider.
I've got a question here on this. I think it's this one. I'm not sure. There's 3 items here. It seemed to me that one of them had a situation where what we were doing is putting a rebuilt part in on a motor or some sort. And for
I
about
think that's
20
7, Bill.
Okay, okay. We'll save that for later.
Yeah, I
then.
think that's number 7.
In this one, there was a consideration for a rebuild versus a new. The DPS commission talked about it extensively. They decided to go forward with the new
Is that the $18,000 item?
differential probably between the two. Yes.
I would have gone for the 18 and had it all new and think that maybe maintenance and everything else would be.
Which is what the recommendation is for this action item is new. So,
Okay, so this is the new price with it.
correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, very good. Any other questions or concerns?
So does this item still work?
It does still work. Yes. Yes, it still works.
So what's the reason for the replacement?
It's exceeded its useful life.
Oh.
So it is inefficient, or it's not inefficient, but it could become, it could fail based upon its current longevity.
Huh. And if it failed, that would be a big problem?
That would be a problem, yes.
Oh, okay.
Real big
Our sewage
Yeah.
treatment plant, for peace sake.
That's what I know, right? Oh, it would be a big problem. Thank you.
Okay. All right, action item number 5, purchase of plant macerator. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, or I'm sorry, all opposed, nay. Okay, motion carried. Number 5. Number 6, Kevin.
The effluent meter purchase. I recommend that the effluent meter purchase be approved by the Township Board.
Second.
Thank you. Recommendations. Based upon a recommendation from the Groseal Department of Public Services Service Commission, the Groseal Township Board hereby approves the purchase of a replacement effluent meter from Viola at a cost of $30,284.02. Furthermore directs Charles Rains Company to commence the bidding for the installation of the unit. The history is the effluent meter has been in need of replacement and has not been functioning. Through the township's contract with Viola, we can purchase direct through them at cost. Please note the attached letter referencing this purchase arrangement. Rains will develop specifications for the bidding of the installation of the unit following the approval to purchase. And would you also talk about that, why that's a no bid?
Yeah, we have the ability to purchase it direct through the supplier, through our contracted operator at the plant at cost. And this specific unit is the one that we prefer for the plant. There are very few models that work for our application, and this is one that does. The importance of the effluent meter is, as is mentioned here, it tracks the outflow of flow at the plant. The influent meter tracks what's coming in, the effluent tracks what's going out. So between those two meters, we utilize that information for a couple of different things: for dosing of chemicals, for operations at the plant, knowing at what level we need to operate the plant to make sure it's running efficiently. And then also the state of Michigan requires us to submit compliance reports showing those flows and how we're operating the plant based upon those flows to confirm that we're operating the plant as it should be. One last item worth noting in the interest of timing of this, the wastewater treatment plant over the past couple of years has undergone a significant expansion in its in the facility in compliance with the administrative consent order that we have with the state of Michigan. The influent and effluent meters are necessary to be operational. They need to be operational because we're required to do something called a performance evaluation study, basically showing to the state of Michigan that we're in compliance with administrative consent order, that the plant is operating at the capacity, that the improvements that we did, it's doing what was intended. In order to make sure that we can show them that, we need to have operating influent and effluent meters. The influent is already being installed or was installed. Now the effluent has to be installed. This is a significant project that requires a diver to actually go in the outflow pump or outflow pipe, which is submerged. So it's a little James Bond type situation, where it's quite extensive. That work will be bid out. The installation, the purchase is going to be direct through Veolia from the supplier. So that's what this is for.
I think that's more of a MacGyver.
Maybe a MacGyver type situation. Hopefully it's not twine and duct tape. Hopefully it's a little bit more secure
Who
than
in the
that,
world has a job that's a diver to go in a pipe that's from a sewer treatment?
I hope he's well paid.
but a unique position, unique job.
That's a lot of tape around him.
I don't know
to
if
make
Mike
sure.
Rowe ever did an episode on that.
Man, that's awful.
You guys will see the contract for that work when it comes before you
Yes.
for approval, so
All right, thank
maybe
you.
we can ask them at that point.
All right, thank you. Okay, any other questions?
I'm going to need a second on that.
Second.
Any other questions or concerns
So
on?
is this, same kind of question, is this something that you're replacing in advance of it being a potential issue, or?
No, the pre-existing one has failed completely.
It
no
has
longer
failed
functions,
completely.
yes. Yep.
All right, any other concerns? Number 6, effluent meter purchase. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Number 7, Kevin. That's the lime slurry pump rebuild. Be on page 80. Starts on 80.
The lime slurry pump rebuild, based upon a recommendation from the Groseal DPS Commission, the Groseal Township Board hereby approves an agreement with XPX Flow for the purchase and installation of a new gearbox on the existing lime mixer at the wastewater treatment plant at a cost of $24,685.01.
Second.
Thank you. The history is attached is the quote for the lime mixer for the from the local rep of SPX Flow that lists the services we are getting. It includes the labor to install, which is removing the old gearbox and installing the new. The plant will provide a porta gantry crane that is rated for 1,200 pounds to help the tech prop the mixed propeller and install the refurbished unit to connect with the motor and mixer blade. We are using our existing motor to install on top. All we are purchasing is the refurbished gearbox and the labor to install. The reason for the purchase from below supplier is they are the sole source provider for the exact part number we need. We are not going with a different style or brand unit, as this one has worked fine. It's just beyond its service life and is showing signs of failure. This mixer mixes the lime slurry as we use to stabilize the sludge, an essential operation at the plant. If the mixer was to fail, the tank of slime slurry would turn to concrete very quickly, leading to a costly repair to get the system operating again. The labor is being chosen by the manufacturer's technician to ensure the install is done properly and timely. The total cost is estimated to be, as we said, $24,685, below the budgeted amount of $30,000.
Okay, any questions for Derek especially? All right. With none, action item number 7, lime slurry pump rebuild. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, I will take number, great. Groseal Township hereby approves the hire of Sean McGranigan to the position of Community Development DDA Director based upon the terms and condition listed in the attached hire letter. I need a second.
Second.
Following departure of Mr. Quero, the township advertised the position Community Development Director, DDA Director, in the following locations: Michigan Municipal League, News Herald, Groseal.com, Indeed, LinkedIn, American Planning Association. Approximately 20 applications were received. These applications were reviewed by a committee made up of following individuals: Township Manager, Board Liaison to the Planning Commission, DDA Chair, Planning Commission Chair, and Community Development Clerk. Of the approximately 20 applications, each member of the group ranked the candidates, and aggregate top 6 were developed to conduct interviews with. Those interviews took place on December 2nd. Of the 6 interviewed, the applicants listed in the attached motion is recommended candidate. A copy of the candidate's resume and cover letter is attached. Okay, I hope if anybody need to see that is attached. The 3 are under, at the end here, under attachments. Any questions or any concerns on the hiring of Sean, and I hope I pronounced your name right there, Sean McGranigan, would you?
Yeah, you're doing a better job with that than myself even, yeah.
Okay. All right, any questions or concerns?
Just real quick comment. I really appreciate the group that was involved in reviewing these applications. There was a lot of work that went into reviewing them and conducting the interviews. Bill was part of that group, so Bill, thank you very much for your assistance you provided. We had a tremendous group of applicants that we interviewed, and also had a good group as well of applicants in general throughout the nation. We had applicants from the east all the way to the west coast. So Sean stood out heads and tails above those that we interviewed. We were very impressed with him, and we are very excited to have him part of the team, and look forward to getting him on board. He's supposed to start January 12th. He has to relocate from New York, so that's just going to take a little extra time. But we are going to be welcoming him with open arms. We're very excited to have him part of the management team and get him rolling in our community development department.
Thanks, Derek. Anything else from the board?
I have a couple of questions on, he has been in the business for 4 years, and he has worked, I'm curious, there are pluses and the minuses to the number of work situations he's had. Was that a plus or a minus when you interviewed him?
He has a pretty, I guess, new work career or work career history. I believe Sean graduated from his master's degree program in like in 2019, I think is what his resume states. So I think a lot of times when you see an employee or an individual that's new into the career field, and they have a tendency to move around a little bit, which I think is the case here. But nothing that was of concern of ours. I think we look at that as, he has some tremendous experience getting familiar with how different municipalities or governmental entities, do this type of work, which I think benefits us as an employer, and it benefits the community because it puts some context into, it's just not an experience with Groseal Township. They have experience with other communities. So we did have a conversation with him about his past experiences, and I think we all felt similar that, that provided a benefit rather than a drawback. And the history there wasn't overly concerning. If you see somebody that maybe has been in the field for 15 years and they're jumping employers every 12 or 18 months, there may be a concern there. But I think with the proximity to his recent graduation from his master's program, I don't think that was a concern for us.
Okay. And
I'd like to add
I apologize.
no, I apologize. You weren't done there.
Oh, I had another question on how did we?
Wait, if we're on this, I need to stay on the same question.
Okay,
Excuse me.
hold on. Kevin, let him follow up on your first question. Go ahead, Bill. What do you have?
I participated in looking at the candidates. I was surprised at the number who had changed positions every 3 years. I don't know the exact proportion, but if we had 20 people, I would say at least more than half were in that condition. It was a circumstance I had not experienced or thought of in my life. But at the same time, these people seemed pretty squared away. They had reasons for what they were doing. Some of them were compatible with our needs and some of them were not. But I sort of reacted the way you did, Kevin, and that was why I wanted to bring that up to your attention. I was startled at first at this that circumstance. But this is a good man.
That's pretty common in the modern workforce because employers don't necessarily give large raises anymore. So in order for younger workers to achieve higher pay rates, they have to essentially bid companies against each other for employment.
Somebody made that
No
point to me.
pensions either.
If you get a rising star too, it's pretty normal, right? Because they're going to move along and get more promotions quicker.
Yeah, I think to Jameson's point, what you see is, younger folks jumping jobs more often because you get the larger pay increases when you move to a different employer versus staying with the one that you're with. I don't think that's the case here. I think that this is about a tremendous opportunity for him to be a director of a department. It's the next step in his career. So Groseal does, it is a smaller employer, a smaller community. So I think sometimes you'll also see, people in managerial positions jump because, they move to a bigger community. But I think that, there's less of a concern with this applicant maybe than others. Okay.
I was also curious. I'm sorry. Are you done, Bill?
Yes.
Thank you.
No, go ahead. You go.
Thank you. The beginning annual compensation rate for the position is $75,000, and I wondered how we came to that number.
The range that was advertised was between 70 and 80. We felt that the position, the offering was commensurate with the experience that he had.
Okay. And would you, have we started our salary administration plan?
Teresa and I had a meeting with the consultant last Friday I believe it was last Friday, correct? To kind of kick off that process. between Teresa and myself, they've requested a variety of different information to supply to them, so we're in the process of doing that.
All right. And you said we do have a retirement plan for new hires. Is that correct?
We do. So this position falls into our managerial pool of employees who generally follow benefits that are very similar to our clerical division within the township. So there's a defined benefit program that this individual will be enrolled in. So there is a retirement plan associated with this. And I have to correct myself. Sean graduated with his master's degree in 2021. His bachelor's was in 2019.
Okay. And it says in lieu of retirement or retiree health care, the township shall provide a RHSP with a 3% employer and 2% employee contribution. Could you describe that a little bit, please?
Quite a long time ago, relatively speaking, the township eliminated retiree health care benefits for new employees. So in lieu of any retiree health care benefits, we contribute to a retiree health care savings plan in the matches that have been indicated in that letter. So, and that's consistent with our clerical collective bargaining agreement as well. So.
Okay, thank you.
Set?
Yep, thanks.
Okay, for action item number 8, hire community development and DDA director. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carried. I'm sorry, Derek, what was the start? I want to write down the starting date.
January 12th.
Thank you. I didn't have that pulled up. 26. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Jameson, number 9.
Okay, this is regarding the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Commission Wayfinding Design RFP. So based upon the recommendation from the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Commission, I move that the Grosse Ile Township Board approve a contract to design a trail pathway and natural area wayfinding signage system with the consultant Giffords Webster at a cost of $49,700.
Second.
So, BPAC has been pursuing this idea for actually like several years now, and we sent some RFPs out and received about 8 back. Several highly qualified firms interested in providing either signs or sign planning or engineering planning, but there was really none of them that did all of it except Giffords and Webster. So what they're going to do, assuming this board approves it, is they will come in and examine our trail system, including the open space, DDA areas, Grosse Ile Nature and Land Conservancy areas, and then make a recommendation to us on wayfinding signage, including crosswalks, directions, what's cool and down this way, and a digital product as well. And then part of the output from them is actual construction drawings and engineering to be able to do that. So we would have a ready-made plan that you can plop right on the table in front of a construction firm, and they can just go out and get started. One of the advantages to this is that Giffords and Webster will work with us on what we want all this stuff to look like. So Grosse Ile has a particular charm and character. There's already some signage out there in the community that exists today, especially like in the open space areas where you see the wooden signs and whatnot. And they'll try to marry all of that up. So it would be my hope once we get this, if we get this RFP approved, that we could work with some of the other government and non-government organizations to be able to create a essentially complete Grosse Ile sign package and roll it up under the auspices of BPAC.
All right, thank you, Jameson. Any questions? I'm sorry, my mic was not on. Thank you, Jameson. Any questions for Jameson on this?
So I haven't seen any e-bike discussion recently or a status on that, but would any of this include something for that?
So we've talked about the e-bike thing. It certainly could. We just need to tell them to include it. I think if we were determined we needed something like speed limits or even speed detection signs, that could certainly be part of this. And as long as it remains within the scope of this project, which includes those items, it won't cost us any extra money.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do like unless we define it. I think that sounds more ordinance oriented. I think you'd have to, I don't know how you define the speed limit, but I'm just wondering, because I don't know how quick these are going to come out, if you could, maybe have reminders or something like that at least.
Yeah, so this isn't going to result. I don't think you're saying this, Margaret, but I want to be clear. This isn't an RFP to have signs installed, right? This is the analysis design.
The design.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, we can. If the township, I mean, they have a timeline in here. Let me scroll down to it. It's essentially 3 phases. So assuming we started, let's say they have July and August in here, but that's only because they did this a while ago. So let's say we started this in January. It looks like they've got, it'd be January, February for phase 1, which is notice to proceed and a kickoff meeting with site analysis. And then there'd be 3 months, so March, April, May, where they would do the plan and talk about traffic calming concepts. And then in June and July, we would receive cost estimates and final plan submittal.
Okay.
And that I thought was the other cool thing about Giffords and Webster is that they'll not only give you a construction plan that you can take to an engineering firm or a construction firm, but they'll tell you how much it should probably cost.
That's nice.
So that gives us almost like a starting point for the bids. So we're not just out there in the dark hoping 3 firms don't highball us. So.
I'm excited about this, especially when the leaves start to fall and you're out in the middle of the woods and you're trying to figure out where the path is.
Yeah.
We actually had a member that got kind of turned down a little bit.
Yeah,
So this is a good thing.
And we can scale it as far, depending on what the appetite of open space and the Nature Conservancy and DDA is. We can scale this to, I think it would be really neat if it was an entire island-like concept,
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
So are the commissions all involved? And you guys are leading this, or how have you guys managed it?
So far, we've had conversations.
Okay.
There hasn't been any kind of official declaration or subcommittee or anything like that made.
Okay.
We wanted to get, because BPAC is going to go forward with this, whether the other commissions want to be part of it or not, as part of our comprehensive trail overhaul. But it would be my hope everybody wants to be involved and we can do something that's real comprehensive.
Right.
I got invited to the meeting tomorrow, the quarterly meeting with Open Space and Grosvenor Nature and Land Conservancy. Do you know if you guys are invited to that too? or-
I'm not.
Sorry. you
Maybe
didn't
Brian
invite.
is. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I might have.
I'll
an
look in the
invite.
mailbox today,
Yeah.
but it hasn't been there.
Haven't received
Jameson.
my
Sorry,
private.
guys, I didn't mean to exclude you.
I'd like to
But you can talk about it, Mickey, if you want. So.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
I'd like to plant a seed for future thought. Margaret brought up e-bikes and what we might do about regulation there. And I think that's a very good point to think about. But when you put together something that it's a set of rules, they also have to be enforceable. And what I'm thinking of, and just as an example, is that you have a stretch of that path that's pretty straight, and there's maybe pedestrians or somebody, God knows, golfers over there. And if this one e-bike comes down very quickly. You could put cameras on there. Like, I remember one time my wife was a bit upset. She was going through Toledo pretty fast on I-75 and got a picture of her license plate and said, "Send me a ticket." See, we could get pictures of the kids on the bicycle and make sure they have a license and then let their family know, here's your kid speeding. We need something with a control in it is what I'm suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in your planning phases, you might work that in. That's why I wanted to take this time.
Yeah, this is on kind of a tangent a little bit, but I'll talk about it briefly. There is a subcommittee working on the e-bike problem. I should say the e-bike solution, not the e-bike problem. I mean, it's a. I don't want to call it a thorny issue, but it's complex in how the heck do you enforce it,
Yes.
right? Like, do we force the police department to go do regular bike patrols? You know, I mean, that's probably not feasible. Speed limits are kind of weird and maybe not appropriate. You know, it's a weird place. You know, because even if we make ordinances, it's difficult to enforce. So, but we're still working on it, and there's some plans in place to hopefully prepare some recommendations to this board on how we can address it.
So I have 2 e-bikes, and I mean, we're more than happy to follow the rules, so I would welcome some guidelines on what we can and can't.
They're working on it. Yeah, that's for another
Yeah,
day and another topic, but yes, they are working on it. Okay, very good. Any other questions or concerns on the wayfinding design RFP bid award? With none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. All right, let me pull up number 10. All right, hold on. Based on the recommendation of the Grosse Ile Toll Bridge Commission, the Grosse Ile Township Board hereby accepts a proposal from the Wallman Unlimited Company, LLC, for the provision of staffing for the Grosse Ile Toll Bridge. Furthermore, the Grosse Ile Township Board hereby authorizes the township manager to negotiate terms and conditions of employment to the existing toll bridge office coordinator, making the position employee at will employee of the Township of Grosse Ile. I need a second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Grosse Ile Township advertised April of '25 for proposals for staffing the Grosse Ile Toll Bridge. Of the multiple proposals received, the commission interviewed 3 firms, Eagle, MCM, and Wallman. Of the 3 interviewed, the firm that appeared to provide the best value for Grosse Ile Township of the existing bridge staff is Wallman Group. The above motion for both the staffing company and the office coordinator position brings with it the recommendation of the Grosse Ile Township Bridge Commission. Attaches a copy of the proposal, Wallman Group, for your review. The proposal, as well as anticipated costs associated with the office coordinator to hire, the budgeted allocations for personnel within the township bridge budget. What this means is, well, there's 34 pages of this. If you guys would love to read this, I kind of looked at it and I already saw it once. So the bottom line is we would like to keep our office coordinator as an at-will employee of Grosse Ile Township. And we did interview these 3 groups, and the Wallman Group, who we believed had the best package, if you will, to fit Grosse Ile Township in all different ways. And I must say, now I think I estimated, but the first time we talked about this, but I think that, we're going to be saving a lot of money, and the possibility of saving a lot of money with a staffing group as opposed to having all these individuals as Grosse Ile Township employees. But what still will remain, and the township manager, Derek Thiel, obviously, will negotiate the terms for our existing toll bridge coordinator, who is Maureen, who's done an absolute excellent job. She's been phenomenal from the start from us. I really would like her absolutely to be part of our group and not part of the staffing company. So that's where we're at. Any questions or concerns?
I guess I have a few.
Sure.
So we're taking the current bridge HR director, Maureen?
Maureen, yeah.
Yeah?
Maureen Farrell, yeah.
Okay. And we're making her a township employee.
Correct.
So she'll be entitled to...
She's an at-will employee. We haven't negotiated. It's not been negotiated yet, right?
Yeah, she's more of a operations manager, I guess I would define her.
So would she be entitled to join the township employee union?
No.
No, she'd be an at-will. She'd fall under our management, basically our management pool.
Okay. And then, but she would receive the same benefits that all standard managers receive, right?
Pretty much like the DDA and community development director position that you just hired. Yeah,
Okay.
you go
Those are
off
all
that
the
letter,
same.
that'd be the same.
And then her or you I'm trying to figure out how like Viola this is. So she, potentially you, or even this board would have hiring and firing authority over the attendants that work for this
No.
staffing company.
No, they do now, once they take it over.
Okay.
They're responsible to provide us staff.
Okay.
Okay. She is just our conduit from Township Hall to operations down there.
Okay, so we won't, because I'm concerned about probably the same thing most people are concerned about, right? Is that fine line between a subcontractor and a government employee, I should say. So if we have no hiring and firing authority and no control on the individual employees on a daily basis, does that insulate us from them being considered township employees under federal labor law?
Yeah, we pay them for services.
Okay.
We pay them for the staff services. So it's like, a good example would be, we're Kobo or whatever it's called nowadays, and they hire a vendor company to provide, vendor services there. And all the personnel associated with those services are their employees. And all we're responsible to them is to pay them to provide a service. That's the same situation here. So.
Yeah, but if you're not happy with somebody's services, you can tell them, hey, we're not really looking for that person to do work for
Absolutely.
us.
So
They don't
I
fire 'em from their
misspoke.
company.
We don't have any control over the actual person that they hire, but we have control over the credentials, the qualifications, how they hire those people, whether they have to be put through background screenings and drug screenings and physicals, and whether those people are capable of performing the responsibilities of the job. We do have control over that within our contract, okay? So we don't actually hire them, but we stipulate who they need to hire with what credentials, okay?
Normal test for an independent contractor, so we're not gonna have such control that we say, we're set hours and stuff, but we can say, hey, here's what we're looking from your people, we want 24/7 coverage.
Yeah, yep, they have a responsibility.
They get into the nitty-gritty.
Yep, they have a responsibility to provide staff to us at these certain levels for the Groseal Toll Bridge.
And we'll work with them for training purposes, and obviously because it's a very specific type job, if you will. It's not like sending one person from, no offense if you work at Walmart to another Walmart, that's not it, you know what I mean? So it's
And then any performance concerns with who they are providing or whether they're satisfying the need of the township to staff the bridge becomes a contractual issue between us and the Wallman Group.
Yeah, I guess the only concern I would have, right, is just that we end up in a situation where some labor court tells us, hey, no, these 30 people are township employees.
I don't think
and
that.
they need township retirements and township.
No, our
healthcare
attorney
and
has
township-
looked at it, and
Okay.
yes, we have gotten, she is involved in this, and
Yeah, these are not employees of Groseal Township whatsoever.
they are the employees of the staffing company, but we do have some say-so because we are the owner of where they're working. It's our property, and it's our,
Yeah, you could create standards.
Yes,
Right.
correct.
Okay.
I
Okay.
assume we had
I've got
somebody
a
look-
question on this issue to a degree. You could call it a risk management issue if you would. Let's have two trucks going one each way, have a head-on collision on the bridge, and there's a big mess going on. The plaintiff would name everybody available in the lawsuit. But, that's just the way it is these days, has been for decades. Have we thought our way through that kind of an arrangement with these people? Has that been addressed in terms of named insureds and risk sharing and that sort of thing?
Yes. They are required to maintain certain insurance coverages. They're required to list Groseal Township as additionally insured. And, we can never protect ourselves against somebody bringing suit. Like you said, they'll sue anybody and everybody for
Well, they
for a
have to
claim.
because they have to do a diligent job for the person they're representing.
Right, but nonetheless, we require certain coverages and additional insured riders on those policies, if that answers your question.
Basically, it does. The only thing that would offer me a little bit more assurance is there would be regular inspections or regulatory checks to make sure everything's in order for that. A lighted sign needs a light bulb, it can't burn out, is a simple example of what I'm saying. But
Yeah, and I think probably regarding checks on certain things.
Right,
You know, it's
exactly.
gonna be,
It's not
there
a-
are gonna be their responsibility, and we would have it stipulated in the contract that they satisfy those requirements.
But I mean, there's a hierarchy of things. I mean,
Correct,
the
yes.
the turning mechanism on the bridge might need a certain follow-through, but that's different than this light bulb I manufactured, for an example, first.
Correct, or whether their employee has gone through training, or whether they're
Exactly.
complying with OSHA regulations, or whatever it might be. There is gonna be a separation there of responsibilities, so,
But also a way of covering the risk involved should anything happen.
correct, yes.
Thank you.
Hey Derek, I assume whoever does our benefits has looked at the benefit plan documents too and has language that says they're not our employees regardless of what a court later holds. Like there's some tight language you can put into those plans. So I assume we've had someone look at that.
Yeah, I don't wanna go too in-depth into it, but, we've gone over, with our attorneys, the transition from a private to a public, from a public to a private. And we've been very diligent and I think, dealing with that transition. So that, I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
All right.
Can I just want to ask
Sure.
a quick question?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So this is a similar setup to Viola, right? In the wastewater treatment plant,
Correct.
right? Or water waste. So do we have a plant manager there? Like would we have a bridge manager?
We do. So Ryan Walsh is our plant manager. He
And-
holds certain certifications because the plant
Are you
manager,
talking about, I'm sorry, hold
But
on,
he's-
you're
is
talking
he
about the
a-
bridge.
Is he a township employee?
he's talking about the wastewater.
No,
treatment.
I'm
wastewater,
sorry.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So the operator there, Ryan, is not a township employee, okay? So this isn't an exact replica of what happens at the wastewater treatment plant, but it's fairly similar. All the staff at the toll bridge, which, with the exception of the office coordinator, would be outsourced and employed by Wallman Company. In the case of the wastewater treatment plant, all employees over there are employed by Veolia, okay, including the plant manager. It's a little bit different. The plant manager is required to have certain certifications, and licensure through the state of Michigan, which isn't maybe necessarily the case with the office manager. I think that the Bridge Commission, the Toll Bridge Commission, took this approach and is recommending this because the importance of her to the operations, her longstanding knowledge of the bridge operations, the concern of if this individual becomes an employee of the Wallman Company can direct that person to any division within their umbrella of business operations, right? They're not guaranteed to work for at the Groseal Township Bridge. So there was concern about that. I think that over the past 6 or 9 months, however long it's been since we purchased the bridge, we've kind of weaved our way through what works down there. And I think that Maureen, who's in that position, the Toll Bridge Commission, as well as the Township Administration, finds that, her working for the township makes the most amount of sense for operations. And I guess hopefully that gives you a level of comfort for, why this recommendation has been made this way. I don't know, Teresa, if you want to add anything, because you work very closely with Maureen, but
So one of the biggest concerns at the toll bridge is the fact that a big part of it is a cash and credit card business, particularly cash. And also credit cards, because working with credit cards and reconciling everything on a daily basis to make sure what's being charged does make it into our bank account. That requires a lot of work. Maureen has an exceptional amount of experience with that in the number of years she worked with the Groseal Bridge Company. And she does a fantastic job with making sure everything reconciles on a daily basis and that we're not losing any money and everything is accounted for properly. We're making progress now with this, at least some, with the software company to get the reports that we need to, and for things to be working the way they need to account for things properly. And now Maureen is able to do things and make entries on a daily basis like she was used to. So having that key with the cash part of that business, which is major, basically cash and credit card is cash, and having that knowledge and just the overall knowledge of the bridge operations is very key. And if there's any issue, she's on site. So if there's any issues at the toll bridge with the staff that are now employees of the Wallman Group potentially, she can work with us directly and report to us the concerns as an employee of the township.
So when Maureen decides to retire or leave, whatever the case may be, then we are going to be put in a position to hire another bridge manager. Is that correct?
Well, possibly. I mean, I think we reevaluate that if that continues to make sense. We move in that direction. But, you know, this bridge is a new department within the township. You know, we will continue to learn more and understand what makes the most amount of sense. I think like I said, that this has shown us over the past, you know, since April, this is what makes the most amount of sense for us. It provides continuity. It provides township eyes and ears. You know, she is the operations manager down there, and has worked very well with the township, and it's a very efficient model that we're realizing. You know, we feel that, you know, the staffing arrangement where the other staff can be employed by the Wallman Group makes a lot of sense, as well as the Bridge Commission feels that way. I will continue to be involved with Maureen as it relates to capital improvements, oversight of, maintenance operations and whatnot. But that information doesn't get to me unless you have an on-site manager that's, you know, working at the bridge, bringing those to our attention. And she has done that forever for the bridge company, so she knows all about the operations down there, what vendors to utilize, things of that sort. So she is a integral part of the operations, and has proven to be very important cog to the efficiency of things down there. So that's, I think, what the Toll Bridge Commission realized as they got involved in this, and I think their recommendation was very strong with regards to, you know, supporting, you know, this arrangement and this design. So
I understand that Maureen is valuable to the operation. I understand that. And I'm going to, I guess, lean on the Bridge Commission, who did a little more research than I did on that part of it, right? And if they believe that's the best move, then so be it. I can go with it. I just don't understand. It's not making sense to me that we can do that, or have to do that, I guess, with a bridge. Was there any indication that the Wellman Group may go ahead and put her somewhere else?
no, I don't think that there was. They had indicated that they were planning on doing that. As a matter of fact, in their proposal, they made it a point to indicate that they were going to be retaining all the employees down there. But there aren't any protections per se in the contract from them doing that. They have the ability to move around employees as they see fit within their organization. So, you know, there won't be any assurances that would remain, the case. So.
I'm all set. Thank you.
All right, sir. Very good. Toll Bridge staffing contract to the Wallman Group.
I have a couple of questions.
Oh, yeah. Speak up.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions. I've asked this before. I actually had a couple calls from island residents about when we had our meetings back in October of 24, September, August. It was said at those meetings that it would be the township was looking for an outside company to run and manage the bridge. And I think the wording was, we don't want to be in the bridge business. And we've talked about that a little bit at the meetings. My question is, and Derek and I've asked this question before, and let me say this, that obviously the Bridge Commission has done an awful lot of work, as well as you, Derek and Teresa, to get us to this point. But the question that the people that I've talked to is, why are we not hiring a company to manage the bridge? And I think your response was that we didn't find anybody that would do it.
Well, yeah, so you're correct. When we discussed this some time ago, the decision was made by the board to go out and solicit respondents for two different scopes of work. One was simply staffing, which is what we're talking about tonight, to hire the staff down there and to provide staffing.
You're
for
saying the
operations.
Bridge Commission decided this?
Well, no, the township board
Township
did.
board, okay.
Township board did. Township board decided to go two routes, right? And solicit respondents for both routes. One being just, as I was mentioning, the staffing of the bridge, employing the staff and providing staff, which is what this proposal is tonight. The other one was to provide full management, turnkey operations, get out of the bridge business, let a company handle it from soup to nuts. So we did. We pursued both directions. We received something like 8 or 9 or 10 applications for staffing, which is what we're looking at tonight. We received no responses for the alternative. Both were advertised in the exact same locations. They were advertised nationally. We didn't receive any responses for the first one. I did have the opportunity to speak with some companies that are in that business, and they did provide some insight as to why. They did not feel that there was a significant enough of a profit margin available with that operation to warrant interest. So that's the feedback I received. In addition, there were also complications, if you recall, about bonding. And the township is using tax-free bonds for the purchase and for the repairs on the bridge. And there was some concern that if we were going to pivot towards a turnkey operation, a management company, you are not, under the law, allowed to have a private company that benefits from a public asset that was purchased or repaired using tax-free bonds. We would have to have modified the type of bonds that we obtained from a tax-free to a tax bond. So that was an additional complication, but it didn't deter us from pursuing that, but would have posed to be an additional issue had we gone that route. So to answer your question, we didn't receive any respondents for the other option, so this one became the only viable one
So,
to distance ourselves from operations.
so strictly speaking, we are managing the bridge, Grosville Township.
We are managing the bridge, but we are not staffing the bridge, other than the office coordinator position.
All right, then the other question is, you said our attorney has reviewed this agreement and it complies with all state, local, and federal laws.
I don't believe I said that, no.
Okay.
I think the question was relative to the long-term liabilities associated with toll bridge employees and whether the attorney's been involved in that. What you see before you tonight is a proposal. A legal agreement will have to be crafted between the Wallman Group and Grosville Township following this approval, for which outlines the terms and conditions of their arrangement, which is going to be based upon this proposal, and then our attorney will review that proposal before it's approved and signed.
Okay.
Okay.
Have we received anything from the IRS saying that this is compliant with IRS rules and regulations?
I'm not aware of anything from the IRS. I don't know if you want to chime in, Teresa, but go ahead.
So the concern about employees versus independent contractors, that is individual specific. When you use a staffing company for them to provide their employees to staff operations, that's not what the IRS is referring to, where they have all the strict rules which defines an independent contractor and an employee. So having a staffing company is like having another vendor for services. It's like having a CPA for your audit services, attorney. It's exactly like that. So there are no, because that's how we chose to do those operations, just like we do the wastewater treatment plant. The IRS wouldn't have any problems with that. If we decided all of the, except for the operations manager, all the employees, we want them to be independent contractors. We want to pay them through accounts payable. Then the IRS would have a problem with that because
So-
they do not meet the definition of an independent contractor.
So you've done the, what is it, Form SS8?
I have not done that, but based on my over 30 years of experience with the IRS and tax work, I know that's what the tax law is. I mean, we can certainly file that form and ask them to make a determination. I don't know how long it would take to get a response, especially since with the recent IRS layoff. But, and based on my prior experience, also when I was at a school district, we outsourced our maintenance. We used an outside company to have the employees, but we also kept a district employee as the head manager for that. Same type of situation.
Thank you. The person that brought that to my attention was concerned that if we don't follow IRS rules and regulations, that there are consequences to the township. And the person was an accountant and was concerned. So thank you for
Okay.
answering that.
I'd like to ask a question that came to mind as I was listening to this conversation. This might be a bit of a unique experience for Wallman because we also, I believe, are exposed to longshoremen and harbor workers exposures because we're on an international waterway. And it's throwing a flag in there when we put it together to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, the Wallman was well aware of the work associated with, the type of work associated with this contract. So I'm sure that they've looked into that, but we'll follow up with them.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
And these are just purchase services, so that Form SS8, I think, is more for where it's a different setup with the employees, where it's really not clear. In this case, you're not hiring anybody, you're just purchasing services.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Everybody set? Grosville Toll Bridge staffing contract to the Wallman Group. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Okay, motion carried. Number 11, Mark, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I'm just going to apologize for the length of this. This is the 33rd Judicial District Court budget. Recommendation is resolution to approve the 33rd Judicial District Court annual budget for the period of January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026.
Second.
Okay, I can read through the resolution if you all would like me to.
That's not necessary.
Okay,
but
then. That's fine. That's fine.
No, I mean, the attachments are there.
The attachments are there, the budget's there, if you, I'm not gonna go through the budget right now, but
Do we need a roll call for the resolution, or we just need to vote on the resolution?
Roll call.
Okay.
This is which item is this now again? 12?
I do? No, whatever.
It's a
All right.
district court.
Any questions on the 33rd District Court budget, first off?
No, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a, wait till you read through it. Read through the packet there is really interesting.
yes, it is.
Okay, we have to go roll call. Bill,
Yes.
Mickey,
Aye.
Jameson,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Margaret,
Aye.
Joe, aye. All right, thank you very much. All right, let me pull number 12 up.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Oh, shoot. Thank you.
Okay. why am I
14
having a
has been
problem?
set aside.
Okay, the Township Board of Trustees hereby approves to close Township Hall on Friday, December 26, 2025. I need a second.
Second.
All right, well, thank you. Now, let me explain this. What I did months ago when we were in the middle of the toll bridge issues, Derek and I, we were asking numerous workers here at the township, including DPS, including airport, to do extra work. Now, I get it that, there's a union issue and you know what it's about, Nothing against people in the union, but when you put more work on a union group, let's just say, sometimes you get backlash. Sometimes you get backlash when you put more work on a manager. Well, we went through and we had extra work that had to be done. It had to be done. We had DPS directing traffic. We had airport bring stuff back and forth from the bridge. We had Derek, and I get it, Derek, and you told me that's what you get paid for, but, I'm not so sure this is really how it works. But at 8 o'clock at night, and the gentleman sitting in the back, the police chief, Doug Carmack, myself and Derek would have 7 o'clock meetings almost every night, and conference calls, and he'd still be working, and Doug would still be working. And I get it. You do what you got to do at the time. I would ask the ladies in the office. Also, we had Brian not only doing his work in both the clerk, both communication, and they were doing data input in the computer because of the glitch we had. Well, I wouldn't call this the glitch, but we had to put our own credit cards in to our own system. I don't want to get too far into that, but what it meant was we had numerous workers constantly doing work for a couple of months just for the bridge. Now, I know I'm getting long-winded on this, but I want to say that even we had rec helping us out in areas. We had airport, we had DPS, we had police management working till nighttime sometimes. Doug would call me at night when we have our meetings, and I know that I would go down there at night, and Derek, after dinner, was still working. Teresa put numerous hours in. I get it, you're a manager, but there's only so much that should be expected and not taken advantage of. This is the bottom line, people, and you can vote for it or not. I went to Derek and I said, what can we do for these workers? And Derek said, well, right now we got to get through this. And I understand that, Derek. It's going to take us a couple months to get through it. But what can I do for them? What is it that we can do for them? He says, well, we'll talk about it. Well, a month went by, 2 months went by, and you know how it works. It just keeps going. So the bottom line is what I did is I looked at the schedule too for Christmas. And I thought, again, Doug, I'm sorry to bring you up again, but Doug has bonus days at the police department. I did too when I was a police chief. And it wasn't for people that, it wasn't a merit award. It was for people that did extra work that they didn't really have to do or get paid for. So it would give somebody a day off that may have put in an extra, 18, 20 hours in a project that they didn't have to do and we couldn't pay them overtime. That's the difference. So what I'm asking is, I believe it's the Friday, to give the workers at the township a bonus day over the holidays to say thank you for what Derek and I don't want to say put upon them, but asked them to do, asked of them. And at this point, and I'll be honest with you, Derek, you're the township manager, maybe you heard it. I didn't hear one person of all the people complain that, that Joe and Derek were kind of mean to him and we asked them to do extra work, and Brian and Elena had to do data input. And then we had to take girls from here and bring them up to the toll bridge after work even. So this is the reason I think that this is important, to give these workers a bonus day to say thank you. It's over the holidays. It's up to you guys as the board. I have to bring it to the board because it's actually a benefit.
Second.
So that's where we're at. That's where we're at with this. Anybody, please feel free if
I think it's a really nice
you think
idea,
I'm kind of
Joe.
far off.
I think it's a really nice idea. They've worked their butts off for us. They've done a fantastic job. So this is just something little that we can do so they can enjoy that time with their families. I think it's a nice idea.
Well-
We might even get snow on Christmas this year.
I mean, most government employees have a 4-day for that. I don't think it's abnormal,
Okay. Well, it was
Let's do
something
it.
that Derek and I talked about. It's my fault, Derek, that I didn't come up with something earlier. But once we came to the end of the year, we thought, I never did anything for him, and what a perfect time to do it. So anyway, anybody else have anything to say?
Very well earned.
All right, nothing?
Let's
Thank you,
vote.
people.
Sure, we don't want to do like a Jam of the Month club instead or something?
Jam.
It's a National Lampoon's reference.
Second.
You got issues, man. There's some issues there. Okay. That would be action item number 12, request for Township Hall closure on December 26th. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. All right, well, passed, and thank you, board, for understanding why I came up with this, and thank you for your generosity to the workers here. I think they're very appreciative of it.
Thank you to our staff, too.
Yes.
For all they did.
Okay, number 13. Margaret, did you say you were going to
Yep.
take that one?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
The Groseal Township Board hereby approves amendments as referenced in the attached documents to Section 4.8 Expenditure Control of Groseal Township's Policies and Procedures.
Second.
Thank you. As discussed at a variety of meetings, attached is a track changes version and a clean version, which is the final copy. This is something we had gone through at a discussion item at a prior board meeting as well, just as a reminder.
Yes. Are you good?
Yeah,
I
that was
just have
it.
a quick comment. What I'd like to say is, we did have, as Margaret stated, we did have discussion items on this at a couple of board meetings, and I have to admit, if you want something done in a large fashion, or you want to change a policy, you want to change a procedure, you want to change anything like that, you really have to have a subcommittee. Doing it a discussion item at a board where you kind of get in the minutia of it, it's too small, it just doesn't work that way. So what we're going to do is, we wanted to put the changes that we all somewhat agreed to, I mean, I get that, for now. Now, if we want to make a subcommittee and move further in the policies and procedures, we can absolutely do that. We can look at anything you want to look at in any other way, but I thought this was important to put on the agenda, to get something on there that we can move forward with, that we can work with. The people on the board looked at this. We had ample time. We had, 3 meetings maybe? And you just can't finish it in that type of form or fashion. So anyway, that's all I need to say. Anybody else have? Mark, did you have something?
No, I think we should go ahead and get that rolling, approve it now, and if we need to make changes, we can make changes
Yeah.
as we go along, and we'll go like we have with other things, so I think we should
Okay.
move forward.
All right, very good. Anybody else on the board have any questions, concerns, or statements? All right, purchasing and bid policy amendment.
You can't vote on it right now.
I can't vote on it right now.
Why is that?
We're missing one.
Oh, there's not a, we gotta all be here for this one.
I can't, he's in attendance at the meeting.
Yeah, if he's here, he's got to vote.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's okay.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, anybody else? How about those Pistons? Yeah.
You watch basketball?
Yeah, I tried to.
I'm trying to think of something we can argue about, but for a short period of time.
There's a number of topics.
Well, I can see some right behind this one.
Okay, what we'll do. Okay, action item number 13, purchasing and bid policy amendment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
I did not have an opportunity to speak about this, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, well, now that you're back, why don't you talk about it?
Thank you. We have gone over this a number of times. I will be of no vote on this amendment to the policy and procedure.
You can't not vote.
I said I will be a no vote.
Oh, okay, all right.
The purchasing and bid policy amendment, the changes suggested actually provide for less checks and balances by the elected officials of Groseal, and less oversight by elected officers, and is lessened, actually. These changes are more complicated, less transparent, and open to the taxpayer. I think that the policies and procedures overall in our township, even though they have been, it is said that they have been reviewed in 2022, I think a lot of them go back to 1993, and actually they were pretty good back in 93. I think everything needs to be updated for safety, security, AI, and this is what's done here really, as well as all of the policies, procedures, and ordinances need to be reviewed, and that's the recommendation that I think we need to do. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anybody else have comment, question, or concern? Number 13, purchasing and bid policy amendment. With none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Nay.
All right. Motion carried. Thank you. 13 is done. All right. Next, we're going to go into a discussion item. Board member BSNA access. Kevin, why don't you start this? Just kind of explain what your request was, and that way we can, and the people hear that too and understand why we're discussing this item.
I requested that I have access to the, I asked for read-only access to the financial data that is in BSNA, and I think that will help me better do the job that I have been elected to do. That's, there really is no reason. I think individuals from the community can come in and ask to see the budget and information as far as that goes. Excuse me. So I think that having read-only access for real-time information should not be a problem for a board member.
Okay, you good on that? All right. I hope everybody went through, and thank you, Teresa. I read through the email that you sent on some of the different issues and some of the rules or regulations or what you've seen in the past, your experience, things like that from the email. I hope everybody else read that email. Who would like to start? And any questions for maybe Kevin or even Teresa?
I guess I have some thoughts, and I mean, BS&A is some arcane, esoteric necromancy to me, right? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how to work it, right? All right, Mike. So I don't understand BS&A because I've never used it. I don't know what it looks like. So I don't, however, I've complained for years about not having an understanding of township finances at any given moment. Like, I don't know how much money is in accounts. I don't know what, what the outlays and income is, other than being able to reference the budget, which is a non-changing thing, right? The budget is just what we tell the administration to do. So I think from an oversight perspective, having access to real-time financial information is helpful. My only concerns are with financial security and personally identifying information. However, I think the requirement is that you use a township computer and it's sufficiently protected with virtual private network, that's kind of overcome. I don't know about PII though. So is there PII in BS&A? Is there people's credit card numbers and whatnot?
There's all the employees' and social security numbers, dates of birth, all the vendors' employer identification numbers,
So
employees' addresses, telephone
I'm not
numbers.
concerned about the employees because I think we could access that anyway. My greater concern would be like, is there vendor credit card numbers, right? Because their identification numbers are just their federal, the FINs or whatever. So,
Right.
So is there credit card information in there?
No,
Their checking accounts outside of our organization?
no.
Okay. I guess that answers my questions.
So is there a way to redact or block personal information, like a social security number?
So the request was for all financial information. So what I provided with the memo, just so everyone's aware of what all financial data is I listed every module in BS&A is financial data that feeds into the general ledger. which includes the payroll system, which includes personal information, and personal vendor information. There is, I mean, I think I can, so the social security numbers are masked and not have access to potentially.
Okay.
I know that read-only access is read-only access, and then there's a ton of different options.
So,
But there are literally, currently we have 13 different modules. That's a lot of information. It's a lot of modules. It's a lot of modules to understand. I don't even use all of them on a daily basis. I know there are some directors that don't have BSNA at all. We, as a practice, we provide department heads with reports on a monthly basis. I provide the board with revenue and expenditure reports every quarter. You get check registers as well. Anytime the treasurer would request information, we'd be more than happy to print reports, whether it's on a monthly basis, whatever. This is never, in my 38-year career, I've never seen a government, either as an auditor or as a finance director, a member of the governing board have access to the accounting software. When it's, day-to-day operations, that's what department managers are for. Is it public information? Absolutely. But even when we get FOIA requests, we can redact personal information.
Okay.
When you have a laptop that's mobile, there's no one else in the township except myself that has that capability. And if I abuse that in any way, shape, or form, I would no longer be your finance director.
Understood.
So there's some kind, there's nothing wrong with the practice, I guess, overall. It's not a standard practice in my governmental experiences over the last 38 years.
So,
That's-
sorry, I want to follow up. So I got to, my opinion on this has evolved a little bit, I guess, because I got to thinking about townships that don't have treasurers, right? So this would be under the clerk's office, and I certainly wouldn't want, and then I got to thinking about townships that have clerks who work full-time because they don't have a large deputy clerk department, in which case I would be sitting in Township Hall with BSNA access, right? So I don't
Correct.
think there's any threat to a township official who isn't an employee having BSNA access, because I'm pretty sure it's a practice in most rural communities
Right.
anyway.
Correct, absolutely. And we have a lot of very small townships in northern and western Michigan, and where the treasurers and the clerks are full-time employees. And I imagine they go through the training
Yeah, and I think that's
that they can.
That's
Use
the other
program.
thing worth mentioning is, we have employees that take years to get familiar with how to operate BSNA. Without extensive training, it's just raw data that you will look at and not really understand either one, how to dissect the data, or two, how to run the reports to find what you're looking for. That's why you would go to somebody that has that training to say, I'm looking for this, can you give me that information? So I think if there is a request, it's also got to be accompanied by training that,
Yeah.
can cost money to get the person trained up to be able to make them efficient in looking at that info and dissecting it. So,
But where's the need to know, though? Where's
So
the
you're-
need? Wait, if I can just.
Excuse me.
No, excuse me.
No, I am excusing you.
where
I
is the need
apologize
to know?
for interrupting you.
So where is the need to know? We talked about this with the auditing project. You don't give people data unless they absolutely need to have it. This would make our employees feel so uncomfortable to know that the elected officials turn over every 4 years, and every 4 years, those elected officials are going to have access to their social security numbers, all their private information. You can take a picture of it with your phone, and then you can give it to anybody that you want. We are board members. We are not employees. Let's protect it. We know there's laws protecting this kind of stuff. If somebody needs a report, then that's an automatic audit trail, right? There is no reason. You want to keep your data as close to the vest as you possibly can and protect it. There's no reason to do this.
Well, I know we're not employees, but we're like the board of directors, right?
But we can
Like-
ask for any report, and if you ask for a report, Jameson, then I can ask to get a copy of it, right? And it's like an automatic audit trail. If you give somebody access to it, what is the need for that?
I can explain what my thoughts are on that. First of all, I believe that we have the technical ability to restrict the types of data you are afraid will leak. The social security number is the thing that caught my eye. I believe that the way this system is set up, if you wanted to get something printed and it had a social security number, we have the technological ability to restrict that from the report that goes to Tom, to Dick, to Harry, to whoever.
But
I
Bill,
forward-
is this for him or is this for the outside organization?
I'm not sure I understand that question.
Is it for Kevin or
Who
is
is
it for the
him?
Groseal Civic Association? If we have to print reports, then we know where our stuff is going to, and if you're not a board member, then they have to FOIA it.
But I mean, we could print reports and give
I'm
it to
not
whoever we
talking about
wanted.
this.
Yeah, that's,
I mean, I could print reports all day and
You
put them in
can also have
mailboxes.
3 elected officials
But-
go to a meeting behind closed doors, but it's illegal when you're
I-
taking a chance doing
I think to Mickey's
Not
point,
illegal.
though,
Hold
the
on, hold on.
reports, the
3 of
reports,
us talking
One at a
policy
time.
behind closed doors.
4 would be illegal.
the reports are redacted, so the reports don't have that information, I think is her point. And I think it's a
Then that's
very
safe.
valid point. No, well, no, Bill, when you're saying things can be redacted, you're absolutely correct in a report, but on the screen. So for instance, yes, you could use your phone, but you can easily take screenshots of so much on a laptop. You can take those screenshots, you can copy and paste them to somewhere else. I think employees have a very valid concern. Social security numbers, along with addresses, that's all, information that just creates a big problem. So
Are you
I guess
telling-
the big question is, I don't think it's been answered. We need to give Kevin the opportunity to answer this. What is the real reason for this requirement that monthly report or a quarterly report won't suffice?
May I speak?
Yes, go ahead, Kevin.
Thank you. I appreciate all the input, and I appreciate that everybody is very concerned about how we manage and protect PII, personal information. I will say in my 44 years in government and private industry and dealing with people's financial information, their social security numbers, et cetera, I know how important it is to protect that. I know there are consequences where individuals can go to jail and can be liable for any breach of a person's information. And if we go to and please correct me if I'm wrong, if we look at our policy, or I believe it's in actually policy and procedure, maybe not an ordinance, but the policy and procedure actually says, I believe, that the only 2 people in the township that have access to individuals' information on social securities, backgrounds, that sort of thing, the only person that is permitted to have that is the finance director and the township manager. So it's not even a question, as far as I know, and as far as I'm concerned. When I asked for all the information, I don't know what's available. I haven't been told what's available, so I don't know what I don't know, and that's why I asked for everything. I'd like to see everything and know what it is. And as part of the job as treasurer, that seems a reasonable request. Do I have access to look at it? Do I need access to look at it? Not everything, no. The other part of it is the just as the police department has these fobs, we can turn a computer into so that there are you can do double and triple access to get into the computer. So that can be taken care of. As far as what I'm trying to find out is, I'm looking for the real-time information that you only can get by looking at the computer. I don't see, and as far as I can see, I asked the Michigan Township Association. I put out a request and I got information back from 2 treasurers who are from other parts of the state, and they said that they do have access to information and real-time information and read-only access. So I have a number of answers to actually all the points that Finance Director McLaughlin put together, and I would be happy to go over them, and that'll take about a half an hour to an hour. So there are good responses to that. Lastly, I will say that the Michigan Supreme Court sided with Macomb, this was a Macomb County Board of Commissioners, requested read-only access to the financial information that the county executive would not give out. The Supreme Court, in a unanimous opinion written by Justice Elizabeth Welch, found that Macomb County's charter and ordinances gave commissions legal authority to review real-time, read-only financial information. The commission or its agent with access to real-time, read-only access to the financial software program used by the county. So what the Supreme Court is saying is that there is not a reason to separate what the administration sees and what the legislative part of the county sees, or the executive board, the commissioners. What I'm trying to do is look at information that is pertinent to the job that I do. I do not see all the outgoing and incoming amounts of money. I sign checks, but that is not everything that goes out. There are electronic checks that go out. There are electronic amounts of money that come in. The treasurer is supposed to be able to see all of that. And it's not been provided, it's not been offered, so I'm asking for it. And I don't see a reason not to do it. And I would be happy to go and talk this and discuss it further, because I do hear everybody has a lot of issues about it. So with that in mind, I think that this is something that we can further discuss, but it is something that I would be helpful. And again, in the 30 years plus, 40 years plus that I've been doing this, my experience is when somebody does not want to share information, there's usually a reason why they don't want to share it. And I think that's...
Reasons.
I'm sorry?
There are several reasons we don't want to share it. I think you got cyber liability, you have all kinds of things. But if you're hanging your hat on a court case, then I think it would be fair to share that court case with all of us so that we can.
As I said, I'm willing to share everything that I am talking about. I'm willing to discuss this further. I think it's a good thing to discuss. I think it's important to discuss how we protect our employees' information, how we protect, in fact, I got an email from, I believe, Teresa, that had my social security. It was in the the VPN, but that probably should have been sent securely. I think that it's time that the township really takes some action to,
Let's not throw that out at
I'm
Teresa,
speaking,
though.
please.
Let's not throw
I'm
that out
speaking.
at our staff.
No, I'm speaking. I'm saying we need to have rules and regulations and policies and procedures in our, that's why I'm suggesting we review all of this. It's all interrelated, and to do this correctly and to oversee it and upgrade it to the, 2025 and be prepared for AI coming in here that can come in and steal stuff, behind our backs without even knowing, we need to do that. And I'm asking for, I think it's important that somebody, an elected official, review this. I know the clerk's office does that, and there are more things that we need to do. So as part of my job, by the way, the township treasurer is bonded, and, I have an obligation to do my job and follow through with the statutes of Michigan. So anybody that would like to discuss it further, I'm happy to do that.
So this is something we can make the role-based though, right? Maybe the treasurer's office and the clerk's office, the rest of us don't need access to it.
I mean, I can tell you,
If he gets it, then we want access as well.
so from my perspective, right, like I am the clerk of Grosse Ile Township, duly elected. So I'm responsible for elections. And if I want to go audit our voter cards or see how many people are eligible to vote or look at ballots, I should be able to do that, right? And I would imagine you would want full access to the fire department, and you want full access to the police department, and you want full access to daily operations, and you want full access to DPS and planning, right? So I don't personally, I don't know what the treasurer is going to do with BSNA because I'm not a treasurer, I'm not a financial guy, and I'm certain I couldn't make sense of it. But from that perspective, I wouldn't want to deny it as part of his duties and then be told like, well, you can't have voter records because, it's got person identifying information on it. You don't really need it. Brian can handle it for you and he'll just give you a report. So as much as I have no dog in the fight, I don't want to set a precedence where we're locking elected officials out of their roles.
And
We're not locking him out. He can request a report at any time, but I think at this point, he's brought up a Michigan, I believe, Supreme Court case. So
I'm
that
happy to
should have
bring-
been issued to all of us. So that
I'll
we
be
can
happy
look
to
at that as
discuss
well,
that
right?
with you.
I'll be getting a legal
The other
opinion.
thing is, I don't feel like you're saying you're gonna get on, you're gonna learn all of these, but you have a big stack of paper in front of you because you don't feel comfortable looking at it online. And so I'm kind of questioning whether this would really work.
Well, this big stack of paper actually has a purpose. If you notice, most everybody uses their computer. And what I do is I ask to have this printed out so that if the computer system goes down, we can finish our meeting because there is a paper copy.
Yeah, I'm not
So
buying that.
I
I'm not.
appreciate what you're saying. The other thing I didn't mention, and I forgot to mention this, is that I did call BSNA, and they do have modules where individuals that want to learn how the system works, you can use that. I don't think there's a cost for it, as far as I've been told.
It depends what level. I mean, there
Well,
can be
right.
costs, but
I have an obligation and a responsibility to, if I ask for the information, to learn how to use it.
yeah, and that was kind of my point. The BSNA system it's user friendly, but it isn't without a learning curve.
Absolutely.
So the information wouldn't be valuable to you unless you learned how to access it and interpret what you're seeing. So that was just my point.
I appreciate you being concerned about that, and I'm aware of that, and I will take on the responsibility of learning how to interpret it and understand it, just as I have the documents here. The other thing is I did talk to a person at BSNA who handles the state of Michigan, and he did say to me, I think his name is Don Snyder, he said that there are other communities where the treasurer does have read-only access. This is not an unusual request in the state of Michigan. It may be an unusual request downriver, but it is not an unusual request in Michigan. And in other states too. I talked to a gentleman in Ohio, and he said that there are cities, townships, and municipalities that have read-only access for people that want more information. So, and I will answer any questions that I can of anybody that has them. Thank you.
I guess I still didn't hear why you need this access. You're saying that you don't even know what's there, so you don't know what you don't know. So I'm really struggling with why you need access to something when you don't even know what you need access to.
That's an excellent question. What I do know is that we do receive reports, and I receive reports, and some of the reports that I have not been able to find out where, again, the treasurer, the thing I'm interested in is, again, there are electronic transfers that go out to companies. I'm hoping that we will go to an electronic system sooner rather than later because it's more secure and it's safer. I would like to know what's going on through the electronic system. I don't have full access and full knowledge because it hasn't been the norm. It hasn't been the norm on Grosse Ile. I'm asking for more information, and I want to do my job as a, following through with the job that I'm supposed to do. I was elected to do, and this is one of the ways to do it. If you would like, again, I'm happy to answer questions.
Okay, I have a couple things, but I want Teresa to speak.
Joe, I'd like to get a nickel in here somewhere before.
Well, no, I'd like to hear from Teresa first.
Okay,
Then you
that's
can go,
fine.
and then I will.
Okay.
So first of all, I just wanted to say that, to the best of my knowledge, there's no employee in this township that is hiding anything. My concern is the volume of data that you have to learn and everything. Everything,
I'm capable.
I'm not saying you're not.
Okay.
And there are videos. I find the videos very helpful. They're easy, 2-minute, this is how you do something. Since everything my suggestion is, to start with, since everything feeds into the general ledger module, to start with the general ledger, because that's also where journal entries are done. So anything that's electronic, done electronically, like when I make the retirement payments, when I make the health savings account payments, I have to make a journal entry to record them, or the finance assistant does. You can easily see those. And when you look at the ledger, and I'm not sure how it is in a read-only basis, but you should be able to click on a link that will take you to more detail from the ledger. And so my concern is, as the supervisor pointed out, we are all overworked, and I'm not denying you any information. I'm
what I'm
concerned
saying
about
is
the training
realize-
time.
I realize that you are overworked, and I realize that, that's one of the reasons I'm asking for this. I don't want to be going to you every minute and saying, give me this, give me that, please, please, please. I think I am capable of learning this, and that's part of, I think it will take a load off of your back, and if it doesn't, please tell me to get the hell out of your office. So I'm happy to do that.
Okay. I just have a comment, and then I just have a quick question for you, Kevin. I'll be getting a legal opinion tomorrow. That's the first thing. Also, are you requesting for this to be downloaded to your laptop or to set you up with a computer in-house?
As I said, in my business, I deal with people's social security numbers, their personal PPI, PII information daily, and I'm cognizant of what is required in that side of the business. If I have multiple ways, if there are multiple ways of authentication to get into it, I think that it's safe. I know that I'm not permitted to put it in my car. I'm not permitted to, there are ways to manage this so that nobody is, we do everything we can. My question is, do other employees take their computers home?
I don't know what they do. I'm not sure. Hold on, let's back up a minute. So you're saying to set you up in your office with a in-house computer with it on there wouldn't suffice? That's what I'm asking you.
I have a computer that, with the proper authentication, it should be secure.
Well, it's not about being secure. My question is, once again, if we set you up in, let's say, your office here with it on your in-house computer, that's not what you're asking for. You want it on your laptop so you can take it home. That's what I've been asking.
I don't see a problem with it, but if it makes everybody happier, I use my township computer every day at my desk at home. And I don't know how it would be, again, as I said, I handle this kind of stuff every day. I know what the rules are. I think actually the township should set up a policy and procedure on this whole thing. So
your answer is no, to have it in your office here wouldn't suffice for what you're requesting. I'm just trying to get what you're requesting.
I'm requesting to have it on the computer that I use every day.
That's what I've been asking.
Yeah.
So that would be a no. That wouldn't suffice if you just had it in.
That would not be my preference, but if that is the only thing that we can do,
No, I'm just asking to make
if
sure.
that's the only thing we can do.
Okay, that's all. All right, wait, Bill, you said you had something.
Yeah, I've got a couple of thoughts.
You do? Okay.
I don't think I'm quite as afraid of sharing information as some of our board members are. I mean, I'm pretty damn old compared to most of you, but I can remember back when I was attending Wayne State University, the parking lots had access controls. If you were a professor, you got one parking lot. If you were a student, you got another. If you were a member of the public, you got a third. You took a card and it divided it out. It was a way of making a choice. I would think the system that BSNA has, or has some way of saying, hey, I'm Bill Heil. I don't get to see somebody's social security number. If I ask for a report, I get a list, but that social security number won't be on it because we planned it that I wouldn't get it. And you have to simply make a decision ahead of time who gets access to what, and it should work reliably. So that puts me at ease about some of these concerns about whether information is available or not. But this is, 2025, and it's not 30 years ago. And we can use data, if we know how, to make better decisions for the future. If you go back and look at the demographics of this community 30 years ago and see what it is today, there's dramatic changes. Those dramatic changes have a big impact on how we function and how we have money flows back and forth from one source to another, impacts what our tax base is. We need to know what's going on with our tax base to pay our bills right without getting into trouble. There's potential there if we get the information and see what it does do to help us with our imagination, see how we can use it. I'm just trying to throw some new thoughts in here to see how this might work in the future.
I've still not heard why. A good solid reason why. So I'm really struggling with this. If it cannot be something managed in-house on a desktop rather than a laptop, I have serious concerns of, this laptop can go anywhere. It can go into somebody's garage and they can review things there. It can go all over the place. It's a laptop. That's its process. So I think, we have some valid concerns. And I think it's valid that we're expressing these because I know personally, I wouldn't want my social security number potentially, going where it shouldn't go. And I guess I'd really love to, I think I've touched on this before. I think we need to really fully understand the responsibilities of trustees, of treasurer, of clerk, exactly what is their criteria for work. Because I personally question it regularly. I think there's a big difference in the amount of throughput for each role and each person has been doing. So I would like to see R&Rs before we even move forward on anything.
Okay. Brian, you said you had something.
Yeah, just a quick comment about the access to BSNA. So BSNA is not on a laptop. Okay, it can be if it's in this building. But if you're logging in from outside this building, it won't be on the laptop. You have to VPN into a computer in this building to access it.
And that means
So unless he's not if you're not logged into into the VPN to get into this building, then if someone took his laptop, they'd have no access to get into BSNA. You know what I'm saying? It's not just an app. It's not an app to click on and you just go in.
But if you had the credentials to get
You'd
into
have to have the credentials to get into the VPN and then the credentials to get into the BSNA.
Right.
Okay.
So you have to. So it is already you have to have double credentials to get in. Unless you're sitting in this building, inside this building, you could log right into BSNA. But
Because it's part of the local network here. The network in the building stays within the building. If you want to access the network from outside the building,
it's
you have
just
to
like
have
anyone outside this building, like the police department. If they want to get into BSNA, they log into a computer located in this building to get into BSNA.
All right,
So
thank you. All right, I think what we're going to do now, I'm going to get a legal opinion tomorrow, which is fine, and that way it'll make it easy. I know there were some questions regarding security, what you're going to do with the information once it leaves this building, what you're going to do with anything that you grab, anything that you have. Kevin explained some of the things why he wanted it. So what we'll do is, let me get this, and we'll put it on. If we need to, we'll put it on as an action item for our next meeting. Then,
That sounds good.
I'm in no rush to do this. I want everybody to be as comfortable as they can be with this, and I would like to answer all the questions there are, and some will be okay with it.
yeah, but what I need to do though is just make sure.
No, I appreciate what you're doing.
Legally, we're doing
Right,
what we
exactly.
what we can do, and I have no problem with that.
That's
and then
fine.
We go by it. Thank you.
So I thought of a caveat I want to ask Brian about. So because there's the Government Records Act, right? So if I were to print out something from Grosse Ile Township, like a BSNA record, voter rolls, something like that, does it then become subject to the storage requirements that the township has because we are township officials?
no, the storage requirements are for the original document.
Okay,
So
not for
anything you print
subsequent-
off
Okay,
doesn't
okay.
have any retention schedule at all. It's only what was originally created.
Okay.
But
All
if
right,
they
thank you.
generate a
I have
report,
one-
That's the original document, right?
I don't know if they would consider the electronic report or I don't know.
All right, last one, Margaret.
One more point.
And we're
I
done.
think it's very important, since this is something that Teresa would have to be involved in. I think she needs to be comfortable meeting with the treasurer, and I don't think that's going to happen until, the meeting that has been requested with herself and Derek and you occurs, just so there's no confusion and she feels good about, assisting with this.
Okay, what we'll do,
So that meeting that you're discussing was between me, the supervisor, the manager, and the financial manager and the township manager. And my question
said.
is, why are you involved in that?
Because we were all here for that conversation, and
Which conversation?
where you made,
well, hold on,
you
guys.
provided misinformation about Teresa that made her uncomfortable.
Guys, this is going to go
Provided no-
sideways.
I provided no misinformation.
Hold on, hold
Absolutely
on,
did.
hold on. This is going to go sideways real quick. And what we're going to do is we're going to stay on task here. I'm going to end the discussion item, and we'll talk. Teresa and I are going to speak, and Kristen and I are going to speak, and we're going to go from there. All right, Jameson, let's do the clerk's report.
All right. I've got a smattering of things. So when you were talking about the wastewater treatment plant and the trench monster,
Muffin monster.
okay, this is kind of silly, but I think it would be fun if our wastewater treatment plant had a social media account and named these things and posted about them.
Really?
Yeah, you'd be educating the public about wastewater treatment and what's going on over there in a kind of a fun way. So anyway, that was just a thought that occurred to me.
I think there's an emoji that works right now for it.
Yeah, well, they can use that one a lot in their posts. So
I'm just saying.
we're just down here processing the emoji and wanted you to see the trench monster. So
All right.
his name's Fred. So the Grosse Ile Centennial is coming up, and we talked about it a little bit on Rec. Some other folks have talked to us about it, namely Kiwanis. And I guess the 200th anniversary was like an absolute banger. Like there was canoe races in the canal, there was fireworks, parades, some kind of I don't know what you call it, historic air show or something. So, am I stealing your thunder here?
No, you
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were gonna go pull out your big centennial plan and be like, "Shut up, man." So.
I was gonna do this just for, because you're talking.
Oh, okay. So I think I would really like it if we could pull together and come up with just an absolute rip-roaring good time for the centennial. I think it'd be a great thing for the community, be super cool. I know I would want to be there and make a big deal out of it. So,
Thank you.
and then Recreation Commission helped host the tree lighting. Supervisor Porcerelli was there. He gave a rousing speech before Santa moved down the road. It was a well-attended event. It was colder than heck, but people were out there anyway, having a good time. So I thought that was really great. However, we were charging for photos with Santa, and there was a lot of photo bandits getting photos with him before he arrived at the VFW. It's pretty tough for Santa to tell a 5-year-old girl no photos, so he did a good job, though, so thanks to our Santa Claus, who is the real Santa Claus. And then BPAC, we got a couple things working. We've got the signage, RFP, the Grow Road and South Point resurfacing, and then the Bellevue Connector construction, which should start next year. I understand there was a draft of the Bellevue construction that listed a potential phase 2, which would go through the Golf and Country Club property along, I think it's hole 9, hole 8. That's not an accurate draft. That's just some employee at the engineering firm spitballing. So at this time, the plan remains to stop the paving trail at the edge of their parking lot, resume it at the Water's Edge property, and then seek alternate means to get the flow of pedestrian and bicycle traffic down Bellevue to the west end. And those, the potentials are partial road closure, full road closure, sharrow, barriers. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And then, no. Oh, yep. The e-bikes. I mentioned it earlier. There is a working group trying to get together on the e-bike stuff. I know Margaret has been involved with that, and Chief Carmack. I don't know all the details because I'm not part of that group, but they've got some products together and they're trying to move forward. So hopefully we have some e-bike resolution soon, so Supervisor Porcerelli can start sleeping at night. So. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Kevin, Treasurer's report, please.
Good afternoon, good evening. This is the Treasurer's report for December 8th, 2025. For the month of November, Roseville Township had a total of $18,623,361 invested in various accounts. These accounts generated interest income of $52,734 with an average interest rate of 2.87%. Further details of this investment information are available online at the Treasurer's website, grosville.com. In the Treasurer's office, the 2025 winter tax bills have been mailed. If you have not received your tax bill, please contact the Treasurer's office to confirm that we have the proper mailing address. Every property owner receives a copy of their tax bill. Mortgage companies that request a copy for their escrow loan accounts receive a duplicate copy of the bill. 2025 winter tax bills are due February 17th, 2026. Eligible residents can apply for an extension of the winter tax due date to April 30th, 2026. Deferment applications are available by contacting the Treasurer's office and online at grosville.com. 2026 pet tags are now available with the Treasurer's office. The fee is currently $6. Please bring certification of valid rabies vaccinations when purchasing the tags. Thank you to everybody for paying your taxes. And I would like to make a comment on, I was invited to a meeting between the treasurer, me, the finance director, the township manager, and the supervisor regarding what I said at last week's meeting. I was not able to attend at the date requested. I have said that I'm happy to be at a meeting telephonically at any time. I find it interesting that a personal note from 4 people in the township is also being mentioned to me by a trustee when I did not share that information with the trustee, and I don't know how the trustee got that information, and I think it's interesting. So, thank you.
Okay, Mickey, you are up.
Hey, for the fire department, the Goodfellows letter was recently sent out to everybody, so we're asking for a public safety free to drop off some canned goods or cash donations for the holidays, or see if you can adopt a family. I know myself, I'll look in the grocery store, and when I find a good sale on something, I'll buy a bunch of it and then drop it off there. So appreciate that. The next meeting for the fire department is this Thursday at 5, and we'll have another badge pinning ceremony, and then we'll talk about purchasing a new truck-mounted generator for Engine 1. For open space, we're going to have a work session in January to discuss a formal encroachment policy and ordinance, propose an ordinance for future adoption by the board. We're also considering a combined millage for both maintenance and property acquisition, although I don't think there'll be a lot of buying the properties.
Sorry.
The last time we had a millage was in 2011. It was for a 3-year period, so we're way overdue on that. And we need some funds even when it comes to cutting down trees that are across the paths and things like that. Tomorrow I mentioned to Jameson, I'm sorry you weren't invited, Jameson.
It's okay. It's not the first time.
Actually, they wouldn't normally invite me. It's the chairs have a quarterly joint meeting between the Grosse Nature and Land Conservancy and Open Space, just to discuss common topics. And so they invited me to go to that tomorrow as well. The last thing I always like to talk about Grosse Nature and Land Conservancy. And then actually it is tomorrow they're going to have birds and holiday traditions with Wild Birds Unlimited from 6 to 7:30 at the Resource Center at 8801 Macomb. And then December 14th, they'll have Bird Walk with Sam at Gibraltar Bay Unit at 28820 East River Road. So they both should be fun. And that's it for me.
Okay, Mark.
I'm up.
Yes, sir.
I thought Michelle was next. Regardless, there's nothing exciting going on in with the zoning board. I'm the liaison for the zoning board. We do not have a meeting scheduled, at least nothing's been brought to my attention up to this meeting, for the month of December. There may be something in January. We'll see as time comes on. That's all I really got at this point. I think this meeting's lasted long enough.
Margaret.
So really quick, I'll address the comment about personal meeting. I had a conversation with our finance director when she came back from vacation because I was checking in on her. That's how I was aware of the concern. So there's nothing nefarious going on there. With regard to my report, communications, I want to remind everyone, we put out a comprehensive and informative newsletter this month, which included a chart that allows our residents a very clear view of how millage money is being distributed by department. Our finance director provided me with that chart, and I think it's a really good, transparent view of how millages are used throughout the township. I also want to thank Sue in our tax office for providing details on winter tax bills and pet tags as well. The information our communications manager and myself, along with township staff, are providing allows residents to find information easier than ever before. And I would even say we have provided the most comprehensive communication department thus far. I also want to address some misinformation on franchise fees. Those are from all cable users, no matter their age, and those fees are allocated to things within the general fund, but they're allocated to communication department, Cygnus web hosting, Comcast invoices, Code Red. So they're assigned to things that they're supposed to be assigned to. On a more positive note, I'm working on information for a future newsletter to assist residents in understanding how their taxes are calculated. I noticed on a social media post that there was a lot of confusion and misinformation on that topic, which kind of came through when our tax bills came out. And as always, we need to address those things and be as helpful with residents as possible. And I think the newsletter will help with that. But if there's anything else that anybody would like to see within communications, as I've said before, they can always reach out. The police department. Many of you have recently received your winter tax bills, and I know there are questions about what the police commission will be requesting in the coming year. I want to be very clear. We would never ask residents to invest more unless it was absolutely necessary to maintain the level of public safety our community expects. After extensive review of staffing, service needs, long-term sustainability, the commission will be requesting a police millage. We will formally present this to the Township Board in January, and we'll schedule multiple public meetings once the millage would be approved. Public meetings, information sessions early in 2026, so residents have an opportunity to learn more and ask questions. Public engagement is extremely important to me. Accurate information is essential, especially when discussing something as critical to our residents as public safety. During previous discussions in the past, there was significant confusion caused by commentary, especially on social media, from individuals who are not involved in the police department's operational reviews and who do not have expertise in current staffing or budgeting requirements. If you come across information on social media that does not originate from the police commission or command staff or myself, I'm asking you to please ask. Just ask any one of us, because misinformation spreads quickly, but facts and open conversation serve our community the best.
Good point.
Thank you.
William.
Well, I serve on two commissions, planning and Airport Commerce Park, and we're lucky to have the people there. I've said this so many times, but with Airport Commerce Park, there seeming to be progress made with doing something with the airport hangar, the athletic affair. The exact timing of the relationship is sort of developing. There's a bit of, if you would, business-type courtship. Right now, or soon to be, I haven't got the dates quite down, they will have a lease on the premises and pay for it for 2 months and begin to have some form of operation and refurbishing at the same time to see how well they do with the public, to get a feel for the building, the people who are going to be potential patrons, and what kind of revenue it might generate. These are the understandings that I have. That is progressing. And it didn't all come easily, but they're making things work. And we'll know more as the event unfolds. But they're doing a good job of doing the best they can with what they've got under the circumstance. That would be the words I would choose. And I feel good about that. Janelle and John Rathel have done good things. On the Planning Commission, I participated with Derek and John Schweikert, who's with us. He did a good job there too, and I'm grateful for his intellect. When you need solid advice, it's there and he can document it, and that's an asset to our community. Thank you.
All set?
Yep.
Derek.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. Just a few items under my report for this evening. The logo competition, which Mr. Friel has posted a number of times on our Facebook page, is open until January 15th. I've probably received about 12 submittals so far, so there is still time to get your submittal in and considered for the new toll bridge logo. We ended up running out of time in the construction season for the bike path work. So the BPAC committee had recommended and the board had approved the resurfacing of the bike path on Grow Road and on South Point. With the weather that we've been dealt over the past couple of weeks, they weren't able to get to that job, so that job will be finalized in the spring, or be done in the spring. Speaking of finalizing, the balance of the road work that was approved by the DPS Commission and the Township Board, which is the intersection of Groseal Parkway and East River Road and down on Meridian past Bridge, that will be done in the spring as well. So those contracts will remain open until that work is complete. Yard waste, for those that are out in the snow trying to pick up the rest of their leaves, concludes next week. So next week is the last opportunity for yard waste disposal. The waste haulers will pick up Christmas trees after Christmas, but leaves and grass and whatnot, next week is the last. Snow removal, just as a reminder to residents, the township or the county or a combination of both of those will go into neighborhoods if snow exceeds 6 to 8 inches. So what we ask, just as a reminder, if there is weather like that in the forecast, please do not park in the road. We'll generally do code red notifications, but please don't park in the road. If that is in the forecast, it helps us with snow removal. So we do not remove snow if it's less than that. The purpose behind that threshold is just to ensure that we can get police and emergency response vehicles, ambulances and fire trucks into the neighborhoods. So we have an allowance for that, and the county will assist as well with removing snow if it gets to that level. The DPS meeting for December has been canceled, so there won't be one in the month. As Jameson had mentioned earlier, thanks to everybody that made Island Glow possible this year, this past Friday. Like he said, it was cold, so appreciate those burned barrels at the Lions Park. One thing I wanted to make sure got out to the public, the Groseal Department of Public Services, in conjunction with our engineers and the contractor that worked on the project of the wastewater treatment plant these past 2 years, the ACO work, received an award of excellence, and I wanted to just make the community aware of that. Let me see, I have it here. So the American Public Works Association recently awarded last week the wastewater treatment plant improvements that we did, their 2025 Project of the Year award. So the township received that last week. So thanks to the taxpayers for supporting that project, allowing us to make that possible, as well as the engineers and the contractor that worked on that job. They were recognized for that project as being one that was significant and done well. So just wanted to let the residents know of that. And last but not least, Merry Christmas, and hopefully everybody has a good New Year. Jameson, I think, had one other item. Yield my time.
All right, I forgot something. First of all, this could go on the Muffin Monsters social media page. And all right, so real quick, Tipsy Fish is going out of business. I think everybody's heard that. We had a vigorous debate about our request for proposal to replace that business in the Water's Edge complex. So that RFP is ready. It has reinforced and well-debated requirements, and the intent is to conduct interviews on 28 January, vote on 5 February, and send it to the Township Board for the meeting on 9 February. So I'll prepare that package ahead of time and send it out. So that's all I have. Sorry about that.
Kevin's got a
One,
question.
I was going to mention this as the DPS liaison. I'm noticing people putting their leaves into the ditches, and that is going to cause a mess in the spring, or it could cause flooding. Would you?
You're exactly correct. Yeah. Those ditches are there to carry water away from your homes and your property. Filling them in with leaves does not allow them to function as intended. So yeah, definitely do not do that. As well as, and obviously it's not relevant right now with the cold weather, but when you cut your grass, do not blow it into the road because it collects in the catch basins and plugs up the drains. So yeah, that's a very good point.
Thank you.
Were you set?
I'm all set.
Okay. Teresa, did you have anything before I go?
Nope, not tonight.
Okay, thanks. All right, I have a couple things. I'm kind of redundant on on two of these at least, but I just think it's important. Island Glow was definitely well attended. And once again, I want to thank personally Chad Novak, Wendy Kearney, and their crew. I know there's a whole bunch more that goes with them. I don't know the exact people. They set it up, and they did a wonderful job again. It was very well attended in the cold, and everything went very, very well that night. So, also Derek touched on the roads, but all I need to say is that obviously our season is over for the asphalt on the bike paths and the asphalt on the roads that they were doing. We're going to hit in the spring. We're going to start doing some cement work, correct? Some of the roads that are cement and still some asphalt. So it's not done, obviously, but the season is over. I know it's getting late, but I got to talk about this. The DTE battery plant. I got a couple phone calls, and I got a couple emails too, of people under the understanding that it's done. It's it's folded, whatever. It's out of business. That couldn't be further from the truth. Myself and Derek met with Barbara and a whole group from DTE. This is still going. There is that was just a rumor. They did change a vendor. I want you to understand that the footprint of the property where the project isn't changing. The footprint itself will not change. So whenever you saw something there last time in the summer, that's where they're still doing it. They made a couple changes to what they're doing, and visually it might look a little different on an aerial view, but it's all moving forward still. This has never been something that they shut down. They just pivoted, changed some things around. And the one gentleman told us that they should be going, I call it online. I'm not sure what you call it when electricity gets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I was agreeing with you, Joe.
So, third quarter of 26, it seems that, or fourth quarter, I'm sorry, the fourth quarter of 26, first quarter of 27, this should be completed and working. However, they're supposed to be saving power there and holding power in their storage batteries. So is there anything from the meeting?
Just that, I believe they had mentioned that starting in January, they're going to be driving pile over there. So if you hear a repetitive noise that coming from the site, that's what they're doing. And that was supposed to, I think, last a couple of months or something along those lines. So
That's what he said, and I apologize, I didn't mention that. During business hours only, and he even said like 7 to 3, so if you hear the booms, it is coming from there. So that is all I have for tonight, and is there any other public comment before we adjourn? No? Okay. I need a motion for adjournment.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, meeting ended 9:47.